Shout out to Adam Dang Deluce, man. Always doing the absolute most in a good way. Shout out to you, Adam. Merry Christmas, obviously, and a happy early New Year if I don't get to see you before the New Year, obviously. Shout out to Bright Johnny. And we got Reg. I'm not going to say the last name because I probably butcher it. Shout out to Bears versus Dang Bulls, the world's greatest mod. We got Bright Journey. And no, not reading that one, Loads. Definitely not reading that one. We got Daniel Vargas. We got Stuart Doyle and Seth, Sebastian. Big Spiles already in the house. Shout out to him. And we got Corey and Marcos. We got Glenn Smith. We got Julio and Stock Up and Alex Davis, the Piper, and Ezekiel joining us as well. And my man Zion Dang Lala in the house as well. Shout out to Mr. Thumbs Up and Bora Hut. We got Tang Bob. These guys trying to get me with the names, eh? I noticed that. I like it. Bright Awakening. And what else? Eclectic Passion. Shout out to Paul and Top VIP, Mary L. We got Roaring Pity, Day Trader, Gut and Jordan, Mr. Ian. We got Robert Liu and Calic, we got Tiru, we got Felipe Lopez and Future Eddie. Anony, sure. We got Small Town Pyro, don't be putting anything on fire. Luis Martinez, Matt Silva, West, y'all. Money 8 Goat. Did I get that right? Christopher Holcomb. We got Luis Lugo. And who else over here? Pilot Josh. I like that one. Nimit, my man. Nimit's back in the house. Love to see my man Nimit. We got, who else over here? Will the Wise, Tim Snyder, Trader Ben, and Toya. Shout out to my man Jay Dang Lee. And last one, Joe. I like this one.
Let me hear it.
Build your own empire. I should have thrown Dang in there.
Build your own dang empire. Let's go. Wait, and what do you say? Respect to Trader TV. No, respect to you.
Yeah, man.
Build your own empire. Thanks for tuning in there, brother. Yeah,
I mean, how you doing this morning,
it's Friday. It wasn't like last Friday, unfortunately, when we went on that absolute monster run, which is unfortunately, so not every day can be green. I'm giving back a little bit of those gains there, my friend, but I do know you have a lesson for the people. So I'm going to go through some of the top performing sectors.
Tell us everything is red, Joseph.
Yeah, you know what? Everything is red, folks. Yeah. So I'll leave it at that, but we'll go win, play, show, and then we're going to head from the bottom up, all right? So the energy sector, we're up about 0.4% on that front, guys, XLE. And then real estate sitting in second place, red on the session, down about 0.2%. And then materials sitting in that show position there with down about 0.3%, all right? So then let's go from the bottom up there, folks, and see the worst performing sector of the session. Sharif, can you guess which one it is?
The communications or tech?
Ooh, it is the tech, down about 1.8. You were close. You're good at we'll take it.
I didn't look,
had a good idea. No, that's all right. I believe you, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, down about 1.85% there. Last place is the technology sector. Consumer discretionary sitting in second last, down about 1.6, and then the communication service in third last, they're down about 1.3% on the session. So it's a weak one.
Look, we haven't been seeing Big Spile from the beginning of the show for a hot minute. You know, he usually hears something he likes while he's working. He chimes in, he throws in a super chat. What a shock that the market's tanking and he's there.
Yeah, he's there right at the beginning, chiming in, saying jabroni, what's up, brother? It's good to have him.
Anyway, man.
Good to have him in
people in the chat.
Yeah, exactly.
Throwing around money. Look at this guy gifting people 5,000 points here, 5,000 points there. All right, Joseph, let's get right down to business, baby. We are talking about these reversal patterns today. So we talked about reversal days last time, how to identify them using volume and some other technical indicators. Today, we'll specifically talk about patterns. Again, this is from Chapter 5 of John J. Murphy's Technical Analysis of these Dang Financial Markets. Shout out to him. So today, we'll be exploring the concept of reversal patterns. Reversal patterns are key formations on price charts that signal the end of a prevailing trend and the start of a new one. Surprise, surprise. They provide traders with valuable information on potential market turning points, helping to anticipate and capitalize on changes in the price action. So hopefully by the end of the lesson, we'll be able to kind of understand the key characteristics of reversal patterns, learn how to differentiate between tops and bottoms, gain insight into the role of volume in confirming these reversal patterns. That's right down Joe's alley, and be introduced to the practical application of these patterns, IRL, in other words, in trading. So let's talk about some of the key concepts before we weasel in. The first one here, prerequisites for a reversal pattern. What do we have to have in order to say what we're seeing is in fact a reversal pattern? So you need a prior trend, obviously, is necessary. So you can't be in this consolidative state, a sideways move. You have to be making higher highs and higher lows, or lower lows and lower highs. So a prior trend is necessary for any reversal pattern to continue. There has to be a trend to reverse, right? There has to be something to reverse. Without the prior trend, the pattern may be misleading. And the application here important as well. When analyzing a chart, first, identify the prevailing trend. That's your first order of business. Are we making higher highs and higher lows, or are we making lower lows and lower highs? What is the prevailing trend, or was the prevailing trend? Without a clear trend, any reversal pattern may not be valid, especially if you're seeing it coming out of a consolidative pattern, which is just sideways or within a range, a predefined range. And this is what we're looking at right here. What is this? This is Meta trend reversal. We're whiffling, we're waffling. We hit $88. No, that is not a blip on your system. Look at what Meta was $5.24 when I made this lesson. It's $5.93 right now, so I guess not that far. So we hit $88 here with Meta. So how did we know that this whole reversal pattern ended up manifesting? Well, we have so many different things. We have a bottoming tail candle, and we have a subsequent candle that makes a far newer high. We have the crosses of the moving average. We had the RSI in oversold territory. Any number of things to see. So what we need to see here is a directional trend before we can know, yes, look, there is a reversal underway, and it looks like we're changing our tune over here. Let's also talk about the first signal of a reversal, which I'll submit to you is a trend line break, right? So a break of an important trend line is often the first indication of a potential trend reversal. However, the mere breaking of the trend line does not always confirm the signal. It may signal consolidation, right? You don't actually have to go up after you break the trend line. You can break it and then move sideways. Entirely possible. So the application here is, after spotting a trend line break, look for other confirmatory signals such as a volume increase on the daily chart or the weekly or whatever time frame off which you're charting, or a change in price structure to avoid these false signals. We'll get more into that in a little bit. And there we go. We were holding this trend line on Meta for a hot minute, and then look at what happened over here back in January of 2021. That is when Jerome Powell got on Capitol Hill and said inflation is not transitory, and then all hell broke loose, okay? And that was November 2021. That was the month. And then all hell broke loose, and anybody who's been trading for a couple of years knows what 2022 was all about. It was a big correction year for the markets, and the Mag 7 were not spared. So the first sign here was the breaking of this trend line back, yes, when Jerome Powell made that statement. And there is a general rule that larger patterns lead to larger moves. What do I mean by that? So the size of the pattern is what's operative here, both in height and in width. So the size of the move, price-wise, and the length of the move, time-wise, which can predict the magnitude of the subsequent move. Height here reflects the price volatility, while width measures the time it takes for the pattern to develop. So the application in this particular case, when a large reversal pattern appears, prepare for more significant moves. So when a larger reversal pattern appears, you should be on the lookout for a more significant move. A smaller pattern will suggest a smaller move, making them more sustainable for short-term trades. Joseph.
Yes, sir. Sharif, we're sorry to interrupt you there, my brother, man, but we got a quick ad read, pay some bills. So, folks, this Christmas, give yourself the gift of smarter trading with trade ideas. Don't miss out on this 25% off all subscriptions, including upgrades to premium. Unlock powerful trading tools and insights to take your strategies to the next level. Use code TRADERTV.live at checkout to save big. Visit TradeIdeas.com today and make this holiday season your most profitable yet, folks. So there you go. You got the QR code right there on the screen, and click the link in the description. Clink's a word, though. Yeah. Clink's a word too, isn't it, though? So all right, there. That's the Trade Ideas ad read. Sorry, brother. You can hop right back in too.
All right. So I just want to emphasize: larger patterns usually foreshadow larger moves. Smaller patterns foreshadowing smaller moves. That's kind of what I want to say about that. Now, bring the jokes. Let's go. Tops versus bottoms. Bring on the jokes, baby. Let's go. So topping patterns, what do I mean by that? They tend to be faster and more volatile. So for example, a V-shaped retracement. We're making aggressive higher highs, higher lows. We get to that, I don't know, where is Apple at? $300 on Apple. Then all hell breaks loose. We drop big off that retracement. It would be different if we hit, like, I don't know, 200 on Apple. It wouldn't be as aggressive to bounce off that level generally. So what I'm trying to say here is topping patterns tend to be faster and more volatile, with prices declining more rapidly than they rise. Bottoms take longer to build, but they are often more sustainable and more stable. So the application of this principle over here is, while tops offer quicker opportunities, obviously, given their nature, they require swift decision-making due to their volatile nature, while bottoms, on the other hand, are more provide you with more cautious entries and are generally easier to trade. Because, you know, sometimes you get that accumulation at that 200 level, for example, on Apple or whatever other area of support. A lot of people seeing it, they start chiming in, they start building their positions there, and then all of a sudden you've got a key area of support developing. Volume, super important here as well. It's basically a critical information, a confirmation tool. So volume plays a key role in confirming these reversal patterns and these trends, particularly at bottoms. A significant increase in volume confirms that a breakout or breakdown is genuine. Conversely, a lack of volume, equally as insightful here, a lack of volume on an upside breakout in particular could be a red flag. So the application here, watch the volume for spikes during a breakout. For example, if the bottom forms and you see volume increasing as prices begin to rise, this can confirm a reversal. Without volume confirmation, however, the pattern might fail. Andre wants me to let you guys know that the position board currently down on the bottom of your screen. They're fixing that super quick, and then we should have Joseph's position show up in a second. I'm currently in no positions as I'm doing this lesson. So what are some of the practical applications that we can use this lesson in? So let's talk about spotting the pattern. First and foremost, we can't do anything with the pattern if we can't spot it. So when analyzing charts, look for classic reversal patterns, such as a head and shoulder pattern, a double top, a triple top, for example, a rounding top, a rounding bottom, all right? These are classic reversal patterns. Always start by first identifying the existing trend. What is the nature of the trend? Are we incrementally putting in higher highs and higher lows? Or is it the other way around with lower highs and lower lows? You gotta start by first identifying the prevailing trend before you can say, hey, I'm seeing this pattern or that pattern, okay? It really makes a difference where you see the pattern. And then the second thing is confirming the signal. After we've spotted the pattern, now we're gonna look to confirm the signal. So once you spot the pattern, wait for confirmation. In most cases, this will involve a break of a significant trend line, usually, but not always, okay? And then pair this signal, the breaking of the trend line that is, with other technical indicators like volume, like moving averages, like these oscillators that we talk about all the time. Your moving average convergence, divergence, your stochastics, your RSI, your relative strength index. The whole idea here is to look for other technical indicators that help confirm the trend. And then you want to measure the target, right? You want to know where to expect to take profit if you're to enter this. We often call this the measured move, right? You can use the height and the width of the pattern to estimate the potential price movement. For instance, if a head and shoulders forms over a 100-point range, just to get an example, the expected downward move should be around 100 points as well. We know measuring the head and shoulders is from the head to the break of the neckline. And then you project that up or down depending on whether it's a regular head and shoulders or an inverse head and shoulders. And then risk management. You got to have an account to trade, so you got to manage risk in order to preserve capital. So make sure you're setting stop losses beyond the based on pattern structure. For example, in the head and shoulders top, you can place your stop right above the right shoulder. That's a bit more, conservative. I would put it below the neckline. And then you also have to have a sound risk to reward ratio. Not everybody employs this, but I would suggest you do. It's crucial because tops are volatile. Ensure that the potential profit is worth the risk, right? Especially given that prices tend to drop faster, sadly, than they rise. And then volume-based strategy as well here can't be understated. During a reversal, particularly at bottoms, as I mentioned earlier, an increase in volume indicates that institutional traders may be entering positions. There we talked about accumulation and distribution patterns. An accumulation pattern would typically take place at a bottom. And then you see a sideways consolidation. Sometimes it's a downward channel. Sometimes it's an upward channel with a very, slight angle to the upside. So keep your eye out on that. Use this as confirmation that the price is valid. That the pattern is valid and that the new trend is gaining strength. Conversely, if volume is low, that should be a red flag and you should be cautious entering a new position. And to conclude the lesson, guys, two things. Reversal patterns are absolutely essential part of technical analysis. They happen often and they happen on, important areas and they provide traders with early signals of a potential trend change. And by combining these chart patterns with trend line breaks, with volume analysis and other indicators, traders can hopefully effectively predict and navigate these markets. I hope everybody prints up a store. So we already have RGTI and QBT. We're loving quantum.
I threw it. I just threw it up.
I'm hitting Rigetti.
Yeah, all right, you hit Rigetti. All right. Throw the weight behind there, brother. I'll hop
arms
on that train. As
spaghetti.
Arms or jacked up spaghetti.
How you doing over there?
Yeah, we're doing all right, man. We're just sitting in some TSLL. But first, I got to get through some of these super chats here from our guy. Let's see if I can pull them up now. I got the poll kind of sitting in my way here. So we're going to have to dismiss that. Where are you?
Show yourself.
Where are you? Yeah, you like Blink 182? Where are you? No, you don't. You don't. No.
Sorry.
It's a Wagner Classic $10 super chat.
Hey.
Big Spile, special issue Big Spile coin NFT coming out today.
Okay.
It is just a red square. All right, sign us up there. Send Venmos now, you jabronis. Okay, wow, all right.
God.
Another $5 super chat. Not gonna read that one, but thank you, Big Spile Burdett.
What do you say?
Read it.
He's a liability.
Yeah. Go to top chat. Go to top chat.
Yeah,
oh,
of course.
Of
course, he's dropping lines like that. We love him, though.
Yeah, exactly. So thank you, the Spiled one. Hopefully, your Christmas and Boxing Day was as good as ours over there south of the border, my brother, man. But yeah, guys, let's take a look here at TSLL. We kind of know the session that we've been having thus far, so it's a little bit of a tougher one, all right? So to pick these bottoms, not that easy. You have to be extremely patient on that front. And sure enough, we just waited. I didn't think Tesla was going to continue selling throughout the whole session. At some point, we had to pull back. No reason for that extreme weakness. But again, unfortunately, we are giving back a little bit of those gains that we have recovered since the FOMC. I know I talk about the FOMC a lot, but again, it was a big pivotal moment for this current market sentiment, in my opinion. So just keep that in mind, folks. So here we are. We grabbed some off the bottom on TSLL. We got the majority. We don't have much left, a couple percentage points here on that front. We have rejected the volume-weighted average price, so keep that in mind. I wouldn't be surprised if we pull back. The overall market does kind of look like it wants to take a second leg down, so I'm going to be a little weary of that there, folks. Other than that, we're just going to be cool like a cucumber here, wait for those setups to come in our direction. We're not going to chase anything. Are we going to rebound? Maybe, possibly. We do know how Fridays typically are, right, folks? Like around lunchtime, especially during the holidays, we're going to get that volume start to step off, as you can see here in TSLL and kind of the rest of the market there. So just keep that in mind Friday, that volume may not step in. We may dwindle, especially because coming up to the New Year's, Monday, we're in on Monday, and then Tuesday we have that off as well too. So maybe just some profit taking and et cetera, folks. So don't look for those extended moves, especially with the volume by time profile starting to dwindle. I want to talk about a little bit about IBIT. It's unfortunate what's going on. They didn't want to make it too easy for us, right? So again, pulling back a little bit here, I'm prepared to start realizing some gains here on this front and start selling some calls against the position just in case we do decide that we want to go south and break that 92K level, which I do think is only a matter of time until we do. As of right now, just from the current price action, I don't see us bouncing, right, because we have tested this level multiple times. So I do think that the next step is going to breach that 92K, and then we're going to head south of 90. And I was saying to this, to Sharif off camera,
Sure.
It's unfortunate that we had this consolidation phase for about like 6-7 months, roughly 8 months, and then our move was only done in about a month or so, not even. And he's like, well, I don't think we're done. And I totally agree with him. It's just on the fact that, hey, I would have liked to see a little bit more of a breath up here, Sharif, opposed to just like pushing to that 108. I would have liked to see like more of a consolidation phase, right?
Yeah.
A little bit healthier of a pullback, and then we make that next move, opposed to kind of just prolonging that step in the process.
Yeah, man.
Sure.
I mean, Bitcoin, it's like, it's what's it called? Volatility embodied.
Yeah.
It
Goes one goes with the other. You know what I mean? So yeah. But other than that, folks, that's all we got going on right now. We're gonna sit in this TSLA and just monitor some IBIT. Maybe we get a bottom off that there.
All right, guys, the position board, is still down, but I'm in a couple of positions right now. So I've worked my way into HOLO, HOLO. If you've been trading small caps in the past little while, you know about this one because I think it had like a triple or quadruple digit day. It had triple digit day several times. I think this one was one of those ones that had a quadruple digit day. So look, I'm in it right now. There we go. We took out 14s. We're going to set up now into the high of the day. We're going to sit at 18s, and then we're going to take out more if it continues ahead of that HOD, which in my on my side chart looking like 219. So HOLO. You'll be able to see that I've also got planned dollar cost averages to defend that $2 level and to defend the higher low situation. So if we get a bit of a move down, I'd like to be able to participate more by picking up some more shareage over here. But it looks like it is move into the high side. Keep your eye out on this one. Separately, I'm involved in LITM. Look, this one, it's putting lower highs. It is. But it's also putting in higher lows. And it's above the volume weighted average price. It's also above the pre-market high. So technically, it fits all my rules. Now, that doesn't mean that it's going to become profitable, but it is, at least on the 5-minute chart, defending VWAP on a 3-candle 5-minute basis. So for the last 15 minutes, we have been defending that, say, $1.48 or wherever VWAP's hanging out. It looks like $1.48, $1.47, something like that. I've set some beak wetters on this one at $1.55 and $1.59. We'll see if we can keep going. Okay, there we go, HOLO. Now we're taking out the top. So let's set up north here. We're going to set at the $0.25 now for that a 219 break and take. Now, it's entirely possible that we get into 219, 220, and then we're met with some selling. Completely reasonable. I'll be looking to add into this position as it is looking real good. 50% trading near the highs, this, that, and the other. We'll see what we get with this one, and hopefully we do not get upset. Again, planned dollar cost averages at 204 and 201. Rigetti. Not in this run right now, but I'm definitely keeping an eye on it. It just reclaimed the volume weighted average price. Now, this one is a bit of, it's a ziggy-zaggy chart today. We make highs, 1935, this, that, and the other, and then we come back into a beautiful level. I wasn't trading at the time when we hit this level at 1040. We double bottomed off yesterday's closing print, 1550. We double bottom, we defend that area, and then look what we're doing now. 17 3/4, here it comes. We're about to take out an area crest, the high there that we printed at 1055, which got all the way up to 1770. We're at 1770 right now, and then we're met with some selling. We're going to keep an eye on this one, but for now, we're going to go to the green screen with Adara.
We're going to take a look here at some of these larger performers to the upside and downside in the S&P 500, as we always do around this time of day. Now, if you're thinking, well, there can't be that many to the upside, that is correct. There's only one name sharply to the upside. So we're going to take a look at these sectors that are really underperforming the market. As we mentioned, tech is dragging the market to the downside. So let's take a look at some of these names that are really underperforming in the electronic technology and the technology services sector, along with some potential catalysts leading to these downside moves. So we're going to start off with Netflix, NFLX, really struggling here. This one is potentially dropping here. In addition, of course, to the overall market weakness, we got a CNN report suggesting that their NFL debut, which was that Christmas Day game on Wednesday with Beyonce doing the halftime show, apparently it did bring a lot of streams, but it did underperform when it came to cable or broadcast. So traditional TV still outperforming Netflix here for that NFL game, NFLX to the downside. Then we have PLTR, which is down almost looks like 4% here. There have been concerns about this one's valuation. We've talked about this on the show. Currently roughly 3 times more expensive than the average stock in the industry, and it's up about 400% on the year. So PLTR has some valuation concerns on this massive stock, which has entered the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ this year. Then last but not least, we have NVDA Advantest, which is one of the company's key suppliers. Its CEO is actually saying that he believes there's going to be a slowdown here in AI spending going forward. So keep an eye here on NVDA as we get some concerns about AI spending. Back to you.
No, nothing
It's nothing bad. I know.
All right, Joseph, I weaseled into Rigetti. Where am I long here? I got to pay attention. Rigetti, I'm in Rigetti, but I'm going to I planned all these DCAs here because Rigetti, you can't assume you're just going to catch the bottom. So I'm long Rigetti at 62s. My first peak weather, I'm sitting at 88s. I don't have a full position, full disclosure. That's why we've set up DCAs here, dollar cost average, to get the dips. And that's my ideal situation. I'd rather us not run up aggressively here, but rather weasel down, continue to make higher lows, even though, we dip a little bit, and then get the full position, and then we can hit 88s. So that's what I'm involved in right now. I'm involved in Rigetti, RGTI, I'm involved in LITM, and I'm involved in HOLO. So HOLO did pop in, it did break the high of the day. It did go to 222, but then quick as you like, as we expect when you break the high of the day, we've dropped down to 208s right into my entry. Sadly, though, I didn't get filled on any of my DCAs. Now, this is more to do with me than anything else. I should be moving up my dollar cost averages to account for the higher highs and higher low situation. So I think I'm gonna move up the one sitting at 201, maybe put that up to 207 or 208, and then leave the one in 204 there intact. So, Rigetti's coming down. So now we got all the prints here on RGTI. It's gonna have to hold the volume weighted average price. Volume weighted average price 1706. So it's going to have to defend 17. We've got a cost basis now on RGTI of 1750. So we're about 10 pennies out of the money right now on RGTI. We're going to throw a stop south of 17. So we're going to sit at 16 low 90s. And then come what may. Joseph, what do you have over there, my man?
Yeah, I mean, dude, Tesla's starting to recover really nicely here. So I'm glad that we took a little more size on this one. And now we're recovering, now breaching the volume weighted average price. So this trade's working out really well on Tesla, especially that we had that really weak opening session. So for the first hour or so, we were just selling. I'm like, man, this thing has to turn around. Well, it doesn't have to do anything, but I thought that it was going to turn around at some point. So you just had to pack your patience, be extremely patient on that front, and wait for price to turn around and tell you that it's ready to turn around. And sure enough, here we are. We are now trading back above the volume weighted average price, with the overall market index is starting to squeeze a little bit. And I think Kyle Burdett mentioned this the other day, and I couldn't agree more with what he said. I don't know if he's seen what he's seen what I seen that he said. So he's like, yeah, Joe, don't mistake this rally as anything else other than a cover rally. And I couldn't agree more. And I think that's kind of where we're sitting right now, Kyle. I do think that this is somewhat of a cover rally going on right now because the volume is slightly low, right? And then we're putting in these engulfing candles. I don't necessarily think that it may be a buy program or anything along those lines. I do think it's just kind of profit taking. We're taking that breath within the market and then maybe going to decide if we break the volume weighted average price. I think I would need to see volume step in significantly in order for us to completely turn this around. But the more I talk about it, is like, okay, is this a potential double bottom or what? Or are we just going to kind of chop in around this range from the low a day in between the volume weighted average price, which is there's a high probability of that happening just because of it's Friday, we had Boxing Day yesterday, the Christmas the day before, leading into the weekend, and then we're going into the New Year's as well too. So people are just kind of taking profit. Nothing crazy, no massive volume stepping into the overall market from a relative volume standpoint. So just keep that in mind, folks. All right, this is a really nice squeeze, but again, just beware of that range because we may range trade for the day, and there's nothing wrong with that. The market needs to breathe, and it needs to have those sessions sometimes because we can't just always go up, as I always mention. So, £2.
Hey, you know about the quid?
Yeah,
Jeez.
£2. I said that earlier, £2
I know.
from our guy, ADL. Watch Tesla, ladies and gents. All right, yeah, we're in there. What are you thinking, Adam, on Tesla? Because we're watching, we're in TSLL right now. Let me know what your thoughts are on TSLL. But thank you, Adam, for that £2 super chat, probably worth about $4 Canadian dollars, I think, probably roughly around there.
Yeah. Well, probably more now
Probably
because
more.
the Canadian dollar is doing so well lately, Joseph.
Yeah, we're doing good, man.
Don't disrespect the Canadian dollar like that when it's at highs.
Yeah, we're at highs, man. All time.
Oh boy!
If you
You
want
and
to
I
call
were
it
talking
that.
about this off camera yesterday before the big show got on. We were talking about like how legit this could be the area where you start accumulating your position currency-wise. It's just Canada's so beat down at the moment. So that's
unfortunately.
Sadly. All right, guys, we're doing a D's here on your boy Rigetti now. A dollar cost average of 41. We just took out 75s. Here come 88s. Seller at 86 from what I see. Here come 88s and bang. We'll take that out. So now we're going to go moving up. We still have several outs here on RGTI. We're going to wait at 05s now for that break and take of 18. So this one bouncing nicely here. Your boy Rigetti is back on the board. The Katina man was trading it yesterday. I don't know if he weaseled into it today, but we got right now, he did. Adair just confirmed it. So we're going to keep an eye out in 18. Big size at 18, several thousand lots. About 3,000 lots sitting at 18 right now on RGTI. We're long 39s now, okay, with the DCA, so we get the dip trade as I wanted. Please, as dang punch. But I'd be more pleased if we're able to take out 18 with some vigor. So I'm going to continue to wait here, over here, see exactly what we get, and I won't get upset. I always say that, but then sometimes I do get upset inside.
That's it, yeah, that's all right.
It's fine. Your boy Holo is coming right back down, but still holding the 10 exponential moving average. I don't mind adding here. I still didn't move up my DCA, so pack my patience there. See, this one's not really a fast mover anyway, so I've got time to make decisions about this one. This is the one that I may not be in for that long. We got a print here on LITM, but I'm long 50s, 51, excuse me. Just took it out at 55s, now waiting at 59. I was talking to Pretty Panda in the chat, and he's like, look, bro, I don't like the volume on Rigetti, or sorry, LITM, neither do I. Volume declining, lower highs, VWAP bounces are not as aggressive as they were before, so I am concerned there. Here comes Rigetti in 805. We broke 18 now. We did weasel up. Let's see. Do we pass it on the bid as well? We're above it on the ask. The bid not ascending above 18 on RGTI. Pack in my patience, see if we can break and take 18. I'm waiting at 05s, Joseph.
Hey, good stuff there, my guy. Took a little bit more off the top here on TSLL as we slowly start to recover here in the overall markets, guys. Let's take a look at the Qs. Even though we just were not too long ago, really nice recovery here. Not quite the double bottom that the SPY put in, but we are rejecting the volume weighted average price. So just keep that in mind. I do kind of have in my mindset that we are going to range trade on the session. Totally fine. You try to find the tops and you try to find the bottoms and you just wait. Unless that breakout volume starts to step in, then assume that we're going to trade within that range, and that's totally fine. There's no doubt about that, folks. All right, so just keep that in mind. Guys, continue to let me know what you're looking at in the chat, and we'll be sure to go over them. And here we are with QUBT. QUBT and RGTI were kind of on the top of my list this morning. ended up trading TSLA and some other things too. So guys, let's just continue to take a look at that. Pretty nice bottoming signal here on QUBT. Now, since recovering, are we going to go and test the volume weighted average price? Totally possible. Let's see what these 5-minute opening ranges look like. A little bit choppy of a mess. That's not something you necessarily want to see with in a relative strength standpoint in that 5-minute opening range. You're closing on that indecision candle. So as you can see, buyers pushed price all the way up north of 21 and then pushed it all the way down to south of 20, almost just a little south of 20. And then we kind of closed as this doji candle. So not the best 5-minute opening range. Usually I'll avoid stocks like that. And sure enough, I did on that case. Someone in the chat is mentioning RR. Let's take a look at RR. Not too familiar with it. Rich Tech Robotics. Okay. I mean, hey, listen, like this is Linda, listen, guys, like not too bad, not the cleanest price action. You are forming those lower highs, or those higher lows, sorry. So really nice kind of wedge pattern forming here, and potential resistance at these levels as well too. So if volume decides that it wants to step in and kind of form that ascending triangle type pattern, and you get that break through this resistance, then that can be a good look. We are just trading a little bit above the volume weighted average price right now at this moment. So again, just be a little bit patient. This is definitely more Sharif's wheelhouse than mine. Trading, it's about like a $3 stock right now. And let's take a look at the overview on RR. Let's see what the float is, as my guy would look. $294 million market cap there. It's a developer of advanced robotic technologies focused on transforming labor-intensive service in hospitality and other sectors. Okay, so yeah, here we are with these humanoid robots, and I think this might be a good play for the long run here. Let's zoom out and see. It's RR, Rich Tech Robotics. Yeah, so hey, maybe they're doing that humanoid stuff. Yeah, and sure enough, Sharif, look at the daily on this thing here. Really starting to break out, and that volume's starting to step in. So really good look on this RR here, because I think eventually we are going to start leaning towards those humanoid type robots, especially with Optimus coming out. And then I think it's only a matter of time until other companies start following along on that.
I got to agree with that, Joseph. Yeah. Good look on that one. Yeah. I'm going to have to keep an eye out on that one. And on the weekly candle, if I can over here, let me just throw this in. Look at this, like the weekly candle, this is the daily, excuse me, weekly. Look how close we are to the top of the weekly. You love when the candle closes towards the top. Nice. It just shows a lot of strength and, you know, not giving too much back.
And the volume supporting it as well, too.
Absolutely, so so talk about that. That's good down stuff. Your alley for sure. Yeah, so definitely a good look there for RR. Definitely keeping it on my side chart. I'm saying definitely a lot here. I don't know why. In any event, Rigetti is a dang rocket ship. We took out 1805. It got, I believe, into 1810s. I've only got one out left there. I'm going to put it at the dollar. I'm long 1833. That is my DCA. It's coming back down now into the $0.75. Rigetti strong, but still, you know, you can take the opportunities to add here. I'm just not sure if that's the right move for me. So I'm packing my patience. I want to see what it does once it comes back near that area low. I basically have bottom wick on this area candle. So if it breaches my entry, by definition, that's a lower low, and I don't want to be part of the trade as a long. So I'm packing my patience. If it wants to take and break through 18 again, well, then we can have a different conversation about that. Got the DCA on HOLO, got that 204 drop and pop. Now it's back at 212. I'm waiting at 216s for an exit. What I did like about this whole drop and pop area at 208 was we knew that 208 was an area resistance. We rejected off it right when we started the show, that 208 level right at 11 o'clock. We dip below it, then we clear it. That's where I got long. So I like to see for a previous area of resistance to come and get tested again, and this time act as support. And that, I'll submit to you, is what happened here, at least for now. It could change. So I'm waiting at 16s, and then ultimately I'm waiting at 25s for that break of the high of the day. We got to 22s, weren't able, though, to continue into 25. So packing my patience on that one, keeping my eye on Rigetti, and just all out bored here on LITM. I didn't expect this. It's really dwindling in volume right now. I should probably flatten out here, but I've made this mistake in the past where it's held a key area of support, and then because it wasn't doing anything for a hot minute, I get out only for it to break out. So I'd rather take an L on this one for a small loss than miss out on a potentially lucrative trade. So I'm going to stay put in it right now. I've already de-risked a little bit in 55s. Rigetti is coming down, though. Here we go. Coming into the 2/3 of a dollar. Still, though, technically a higher low than this area trough that we got into right at 11:30. So I'm keeping my eye on that 17.33, Joseph. We're going to keep an eye out on this one. Let's see what comes. Hold on. Let's see what Adam was saying about Tesla. Let's have a look at Tesla right now. Tesla is looking like the best. Is that accurate? No. Okay, so Tesla's at VWAP, a skosh above VWAP. NVIDIA, though, is decidedly above VWAP. And by decidedly, I mean by like 10 pennies. No, I'm kidding. By about 20 to 30 pennies. NVDA, I don't think it's the strongest percentage winner on the day. The one that's down the least is Apple. Apple's down Meta. 1.6 for Meta, 1.75 for Apple. And then, they're all close there together. So, yeah, I'm unsure exactly how to play the mag today. Apple did reject the 10. Amazon rejected VWAP. Meta was above VWAP, but now is below it. Microsoft straddling VWAP from the south side. Google not even close. The Future not close. Apple obviously not close. It's kind of NVIDIA, Meta, and Tesla, the ones that I'm looking at here if I do decide to trade the mag. Let's see what SoundHound and GameStop are doing. GameStop looking like the Mag 7 today. What's going on? It's just retracing a VWAP, and it's rejecting VWAP right now. GME rejecting that 3170 where the volume weighted average price is hanging out. So, yeah, that's really all I've got for now. We'll keep an eye on Rigetti. We'll keep an eye, obviously, on Holo and LITM, Joseph.
Holo. Yeah, I'm looking over at RGTI as well, too. As it's sitting on top of the leaderboard for top volume traded this far in the session. Sure enough, we already know who's in second place. We don't need to go over that one. Yeah, it's the same person who's usually in the top volume, but I'll just say it just in case. It's NVDA with about 76 million shares traded on the session. But SoundHound just still staying at the top of that leaderboard. It's like the thing that won't go away for some reason, but it's doing absolutely phenomenal. Let's pull out some SoundHound here, folks, and take a look at it because it is sitting in third place with about 45 million shares traded on the session. And one thing that I'm going to point out here is we had this really massive engulfing session yesterday, holding kind of the highs here on that front. But now we're kind of pulling back, totally reasonable breath. But SoundHound continuing to put in this monster run, essentially starting, once this volume starts to pick up, I'll classify this as when we started this rally is around November 5th. Guys, so it's been almost 2 months that this thing has been just on an absolute tear, as well as some of these other AI and quantum computing stocks. I knew when they created on the options chain fund right after it was SSR a few days and dumped it, but not see any news. Oh, really? Yeah, I didn't know that, Havana. I think with RR, you'll see kind of that process where they have to go to SIBO and et cetera, and have to get approval. And kind of do what IBIT did to get approval onto the options chain. Don't forget it's a lower price stock, so until it probably gains more popularity, then it won't be optionable for a while. But that's a good question. We'll continue to monitor RR. That's something new to me, just learning about that one today, and I think I really like it so far. And it's relatively cheap, so maybe we'll have a little fun with that one, Strafe, and just grab a couple shares for the long term and just see if it decides it wants to go. But we got to dig a little bit into the fundamentals, I think, a little bit more instead of just buying it off of a technical setup. But yeah, guys, let's continue to take a look at what else is moving on the session. We have PLTR sitting around 5th place on the highest volume of the session, now starting to pull back in off those all-time highs. Totally justifiable. Again, this thing's gone over 100% in a month or so, just a little over a month, and it's been up over 300% on the year. So absolute fantastic run by Alex Karp and company, starting to pull in this crazy run. Starting to pull back a little bit here with an all-time high of around $85, sitting around 78 right now. So we're not too far off the all-time highs here, folks. Wouldn't be too worried about it. Again, I'll mention this over and over again. You can't just go parabolic all the time. Stocks need to breathe. And sometimes with that, you get a little bit deeper of a pullback than what is warranted, all right? So about 7.9%, we'll call it 8% flat off of those all-time highs on PLTR, brother.
Adara just sent me Boeing rangy, and she could not be more accurate. I love it. Get it, Adara.
Rangy.
It is. It's super rangy, brother. Yeah, it's just been beautiful, she said. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Look at this range over here. We've got top wicks that breach that $81, but they're always held up right at that 81 and a quarter, 81 and a third at best. We've gotten 81.43. To the low side, kind of the same gig. In fact, though, I could say that the low side or the bottom side of this is a bit more established in its price. It looks like that 17 and 2/3, 179, excuse me, and 2/3 really being bought aggressively, while when you look to the top side, we are incrementally and lightly putting in lower highs. Not so, though, for the downside. So this is a fantastic look right now on Boeing if you're looking for, a less volatile, more established range and you want to trade on the day, you don't really want to, you're not feeling the markets, whatever. This is an interesting look right here on Boeing. Whether you want to get in on the top, get in on the bottom, set alerts. That's what I would suggest. We're kind of in no man's land right now, neither at the top nor at the bottom. We are above VWAP. I would personally, the way I would do this, and you guys do it the way you want, throw out some alerts toward the bottom end over here. So I'm going to put some at 179. I'm going to put 88s. You know how I feel about these numbers, right? I'm very superstitious like that. So we're going to throw some at 88s there, and then to the top side, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to throw an alert. Hello, Mr. Computer.
Hi.
There we go. 180.99. I'm going to throw out some alerts there. So if we can get into that range, I'm all ears to see exactly what we can eke out over here. Shout out to Adair. Now, let's look at our GTI. It comes in right into that 17 and a third, 17 and a quarter, and it curls back up. Now, I had my out right below 20s. I put it at 17, 19. Good thing I put it there because it's moving back up, baby. Here, whoa. Just as I said that, it got a big sell. Rigetti is really getting volatile here. Whoa. Okay, this is interesting. This is kind of an area of indecision. It's at VWAP, it's at 17 and a quarter. I only got one more out on this one. So if we get stopped out at 17.19 and it dips into 17, I'm a buyer there. So keeping an eye on Rigetti, but it looks like it might be moving to the high side over here. Doing well on Holo. We literally got bottom wick at 204, took it out at 216. I'm still waiting at 225 here on HOLO. It's putting in incrementally higher lows. We did breach the high last time, which was 219. Now it is 222. Here we go again with 220. We're knocking on the door at 220. There is, I don't want to say substantial size, but there is size of note at that 2 and a 5th area. So we're going to keep my eye on that. What's that, Andre? Positions are back. Okay, so we will take a fill so that you can kind of see the whole situation. Let's see. What am I going to take? Something super light volume here. We'll take one on this because this piece of crap stock
is ripping, dude.
Here we go.
QSI.
QSI.
Wow.
I had my eye on that one earlier, Joseph.
Moving.
All right, so we're going to take off GALT. We're going to put QSI. It's a quantum name. Obviously, it's in vogue. Ooh, it took out the pre-market high. And now we're in business here with QSI. You know, one of my rules is you got to take out that pre-market high to be interesting to me, especially if they had a definable pre-market high. It did that. It's tanking off that level, but there is support previously at 360 to 370. I'm going to take a very small position just to get involved here. Now, if this one breaks 3.5, I'm gone. So it's going to have to hold above 3.5. QSI, Joseph, we're long.
Jeez, all right. Yeah. Oh, you're in it, eh?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I mean, why not? I guess. Look at the imbalance on the L2 here. We could pull up my screen. Really strong on the ass side there, folks. I think I'm going to look to participate in this as well, too. Up a whopping 70%. That volume stepped in on that breakout. So beautiful stuff there. Thanks, guys, in the chat for pointing that out. Otherwise, I wouldn't even realize it. You guys had that before the breakout. So congratulations to anybody who grabbed that before that breakout or as that volume started to step in. Really good look there on QSI. You mean all stocks are not like GME and go to the moon? Well, hey, when was the last time GME went to the moon? Just please let me know, because I think that was a couple years ago, wasn't it? So the Roaring Kitty phase and kind of the meme craze, yeah. So I mean, some other things have gone parabolic since then. Yeah, like Tesla's been trading extremely well. Some of these quantum names as well too. But one thing that we really do like right now, Sharif, is QSI, which you're in, right? So I'm gonna you weaseled in there. I'm gonna be a little bit late to the dance on this one, I think there, my brother. But again, fashionably late, never hurt anybody. So let's see if we can get into some QSI. Let's see how this candle prints here. If we kind of want to do a 1 minute ABCD, then I'm going to look to get involved. But if we decide that we want to pull back a little bit more, wait for the price action to turn around and then get involved as well too. But just look at the imbalance on the level 2 as well. This is why I use a quote highlight so you can see the imbalances on this level 2. And sure enough, we were kind of stacked to the ass side, right? So building a ladder to the top side on QSI, but we are starting to pull back. I'm going to wait until Sharif. I think that we can bounce around that 350 level because of what was once resistance.
Exactly.
Let's see if it acts as support here, and then we get a little bit of a price action turnaround, which would be absolutely fantastic. And then that's when we pounce like a tiger and look to get involved there, guys. All right. So I know a lot of people are talking about RCAT as well too. Let's pull up RCAT. I'm not too familiar with what they do. But today, Sharif, I'm all over the small caps here with you, I think, my friend. RCAT,
Hey.
yeah, exactly. RCAT's still selling on the session here. Let's see what they do. Red Cat Holdings is a Puerto Rico-based provider of products, services, and solutions to the drone industry. Man, this drone, you mentioned this before. I was watching some drone highlights. It's insane. That's scary stuff, man.
Bro.
That's really, really scary stuff. Okay, well, there you go. QSI starting to move, guys. We're involved in some QSI. Let's forget about RCAT right now. We're going to pop in and see what QSI is up to because we are slowly starting to turn around here. If we breach that support level around 350, I'm gonzino. I'm out of dodge. Yeah, there you go. We're gonna wait for another entry there, bro.
All right, so I've layered my orders, Joseph. We got the fill initially at 69s, then I got 60. So now we have a DCA or something like that of 66. I've set my beak wetter at 82. I still have another planned DCA to defend the $0.50, and then my stop is just below the $0.50.
Oh, let's go.
So here we go. We're moving to the high side here. We have a bit of a bigger, not actually, we don't. We still haven't gotten too much over here on RGTI or on QSI. So I'm going to pack my patience here. Let's see if we can clear the $0.50 or the $0.75. So I'm going to put it right there. Let's see if we can clear it on QSI, keeping my eye out on that one. Separately, Holo, moving to the high side. I was able to wet my beak there on some profits. Let's see if we can continue to move up. Joseph, we keep getting into that 222 area and we can't take it. Here comes 224. Here comes 225. Let's go, bro. Fill me.
This is insane.
Joseph.
No, what happened?
Yeah, you know, 225. It's the $0.25. Damn. There we go.
Man.
Nice on Holo.
YOLO on Holo.
YOLO on Holo.
Let's go.
All right, it's
my
going.
brolo.
We take out the top there. So I'm going to let this one run. I'm not going to have any profit takers resting on this one. Let's see where this one wants to go. We're going to give this one the old community college try. The $0.33 just got printed there. 232 HOD. Back to QSI over here as I see this one's moving up again. We're still unable, though, to get filled at 75s. Unsurprised, as there's always, not always, sometimes psychological resistance at the whole $1, $0.50, $0.25 hold. You guys get it. So we'll keep an eye out on that one. Candle of indecision currently right now on the 5-minute chart with a high of that $0.75 and a low of 56s. So we're kind of no man's land right now, printing 67s. Keeping my eye out on that one. Separately, Rigetti. Gone out of this one, broke even for the last remaining amount. It's breaking 17, and by extension of that, it is breaking VWAP. So Rigetti on the way down possibly over here. Keep your eye out on this one. It could be a dip trade opportunity with just a perfunctory break of the volume weighted average price and then a move back up. Who knows? We'll keep an eye on Rigetti. I need to see a change in pattern from lower highs and lower lows into higher lows and higher highs before I get involved. Right now, we're at 17. Now, if you look at the area crests and troughs, if you were to earmark this area over here at 1105, 1106 at 1660 as an area trough, well, then technically the dip into 17 still is a higher low. So, you know, there is always, you know, two sides to every coin. So we'll keep an eye out on this one to see what we get here, Joseph. Packing my patience. Let's see what we get.
Yeah, two sides to every coin unless you're two-faced.
Oh.
The double-sided coin.
That's a good point.
Yeah, right.
That's a good point.
So shout out to Harvey Dent.
Daryl loved that one. I liked it too.
Yeah, Neil liked the Harvey Dent there. All right, you guys. So, yeah, I mean, hey, Did you see the trailer for the new Superman? It looks not that good, but hey, we'll go. Yeah,
Adair says she agrees.
Yeah, and I was totally disappointed in Gladiator 2 as well too. That's unfortunate, but hey, let's continue to look at some things here, guys. QSI, which we are in. Let's see if we can hold this level. We currently are right now, kind of consolidating. So I'm curious to see if we put in this kind of 5-minute ABCD pattern with that strong breakout candle, breath, and then that second leg higher, forming that D in the ABCD pattern. All right. So Pretty Panda, Joe, Sharif, no, Sharif, you need to see the last 15 minutes actions on GTI. I'm not playing. All right. Well, all right then. Yeah. If you're not,
absolutely.
Yeah. If you're not playing, then
he's not playing,
we got to take a look at it. If he ain't playing, because around here we don't like any game.
It's sub $1. Yeah.
It's sub $1 there.
Beautiful.
It is moving here, Sharif, starting to put in a new high of day.
Sir.
What's going on over GTI. New high, GTI, putting in a new high a day there. Putting up a boom, just hit $1 there on GTI. So it looks like it's small. Oh, okay, so this is what we got to do, okay? So the small caps here are starting to run. Let's take a look at IWM. What? Okay, what's going on here? Tough look in the small cap world and the IWM in the Russ 2000 here, folks. We're running into some key support levels here, Sharif.
Yes, sir.
I wonder if we're going to break them. I mean, is the outlook for small caps not, is it going to be good in the future? I was listening to what Tom Lee had to say about small caps, and they have been they have been underperforming, for the past couple years. And people will say, okay, well, are they garbage? Are they the stocks that nobody really wants to invest in, these value stocks? But eventually it will start to recover. Small caps, maybe not just yet, but at some point he says they will start to recover. So let's see what the small caps can do here on out, especially because today's Sharif, they are trading pretty well. That's
yes, sir. Absolutely. All right. So here's the deal. Holo's going. Holo's going aggressively here. New high day 238. I'm still waiting. I don't think I'm going to take anything out on this one. I'm packing my patience. The one that I'm really upset with how I traded, I should have been adding more at 17 on Rigetti and then putting in, a stop below like 1680, risking 10, 12, 15 pennies. Look at it, rocket off 17, and by extension of that, VWAP. It's going into that 2/3 of a dollar, cleared the $0.5 quick as you like. RGTI defended VWAP, defended 17. It's still below that 18 peak though, 18 and a quarter or whatever it was peak there. So keep my eye out on that one. Separately here, no, that's Holo. That's LITM. Okay, let's go into, so we did get the beak wetter there on QSI at 51s. Now we're back into 59s. We're still out of the money. 63s is my entry. This one is defending the $0.5. It's not as forthcoming as I anticipated. I thought that this one would, since it cleared the pre-market high, albeit by not that much, it would be a bit more directional to the high side. So we already have our stop below the $0.5. It's going to have to defend that area. Otherwise, sayonara. See ya. We're not going to trade you. We're not going to keep DCing into this. We're playing dollar cost averages. That's it. Now we're break even on it. It's going to have to move up. I'm not going to just take out the trade because it's break even. That ain't the move. It's going to have to move up here. Otherwise, I'll just get stopped out. I'll insist on that. I'd rather get stopped out and stick to my trading plan than give in to fear and be like, oh, let me lock in the profits. Oh, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just become so, I've been incessant on that lately. I don't know how you feel.
No, I totally agree because at some point, I guess earlier in my career, I was just so sick of cutting trades earlier or taking profit a little bit too earlier that eventually you just get so sick of it. You're like, all right, I don't want to do that anymore.
Yeah.
And then you just stick to the plan. So you'd rather just take the loss and then,
straight up.
Exactly. Instead of it, kind of just take that loss instead of you just taking profit off too early and not hitting that target or anything like that.
Sir.
Yeah, I totally agree with what you have to say there. QSI, not doing too much. Yeah, a little bit of a dud there on QSI. So far, will the volume step back in? Maybe. Let's see. I mean, that's kind of, I wouldn't say it's unusual, but I kind of would expect volume to step back in, especially when it did how it did, especially at that key resistance level, right? So we had that volume step in at the break of that key resistance level. I think at some point it will continue. Are we going to do that 5-minute ABCD pattern. Only time will tell. As of right now, we are holding these levels quite well. I mentioned what was once resistance can now act as support. So again, we are kind of in that realm where it is acting as support. Let's see if it can hold those levels. If we breach into the middle of the range, maybe the thesis will be invalid. Then we just reassess the situation and then look to get back in. All right. So again, pack our patience on that front. But then, guys, we are going to send it off to Adara and then with Neil for the lesson of the day.
Holo high of day.
Here is take a look, at the market so far today. S&P 500 down 1.5%. IWM down 2%. We have the NASDAQ, which is down almost 2%. So this entire market is really feeling the bleed. Well, a lot of these charts as well look like rounded tops if you look at the 15-minute or a wider chart. So we're talking about reversal patterns today in the lesson of the day. I would really, or not the lesson of the day, but the midday lesson. I think it's pretty emblematic here. You can really see that personified in a lot of these charts today. We had a lot of stocks on watch earlier today. Some of them were able to continue their push up. A lot of them actually faltered. And it was definitely a pretty exciting week as well with GameStop on the move. A lot of these moves from earlier kind of reverted. A lot of the stocks we're watching go higher and now pushing lower. TSLA trying to hold on right now to mid 430s, but still definitely down in the day compared to these pre-market highs of just above 450. So TSLA still a downside watch here for the time being. RGTI and these quantum names still continue to be very strong. RGTI actually looking great with these higher lows, potentially a flat top forming around that $18 level. Lots of small caps to watch out for too. Sharif over here trading LITM and QSI. The microcloud hologram, HOLO, that's been a long-standing one to watch, and that is going to be in play today as well. But before we get to all these other names in play, you'll see the rest of the midday. Make sure to take the time to like and subscribe and vote in our poll, because there actually is a poll here. You have 4 tickers to choose from, and the top 5 choices between this poll and another poll that will be put out around 1 p.m. will be covered on the afternoon rundown at 2 p.m. Sharif will be gesticulating wildly on the green screen, and Neil and Sean will be going over these stocks and what plays they might have done. But in the meantime, speaking of Neil, he's going to give us his lesson of the day. Take it away, Neil. See you guys.
Thank you very much, Adara. I know everyone's excited to see Sharif gesticulating wildly in front of the green screen, which we have yet to see. I mean, obviously, we have a lot of fun around here. But, obviously a lot of fun is being had on quantum names recently. And if you look across the board, like most of the small cap volume leaders today are going to be in that space. But they're not all created alike. And I think you got to, on days like today, I think it's important to separate them. Because when you look at the daily chart of, pick one, and I'm going to talk about a few names in here. Everyone's looking at, I'd say Rigetti is the number one. Big trend to the upside, continuation. You've got QBTS. Big move up, continuation. You've got QUBT, quantum computing. That is actually down. I'll get to that in a quick little second. But on the daily chart, it looks fantastic. You've got IonQ, which is another ridiculously good-looking trend to the upside. It's ridiculously good-looking. But on a day trade, and you've got this QSI, which is also going, shout out to the boys there. Like, look, I'm in the same trade. I think it's an obvious one here on that QSI. But they're not all trading the same here today. And why is that? Well, if you look at the aforementioned Rigetti, and it all starts, you have to sort of pick one, right? And when we got this QSI, obviously it's a good-looking one, but RGTI, Rigetti, for anyone that's interested in it, it did the breakout early. It's still going to be up. You had a gap up, and this is where you start to separate them, because you've got all 3 types of phases here in the quantum names. You've got strong name holding the higher low, still green, but really, if you look at the open, like from top to bottom, it's actually given you 19 to 15.5 and gave you 16 to 19. So if you look, the pullback was actually bigger than the break to the upside. It's back above VWAP. That's fantastic. So I put it in the good side. And then you go over to something like a QBTS, which similar move, but when it pulled back even deeper. And it's underneath VWAP. So you've got one strong above VWAP, but still kind of like dabbling back and forth. You've got one short above VWAP that looks like it's a play in either direction, but now made me favor the short, like a QBTS. You've got a QSI, which is currently breaking out right now, or at least attempting to break out those highs. And then you've got this QUBT. Man, these things with the Qs are going to be a pain in the butt, where it's holding off of those lows. This is where, as a day trader, picking your spots is important, because you want to, unlike other styles of trading, for these small caps, you do want to be jumping on the hot ship. You know, like, there's nothing wrong with RGTI, but I think when you see, you could still be on it. It's still pretty good off of VWAP. It's still holding some higher lows, but the pivot to QSI seems an obvious one. When you look across the board, one or two are holding VWAP at best, and one of those is actually breaking away from VWAP. It's like, okay, well, what do you like long? You can get VWAP on Rigetti, or this one's already double bottom for VWAP and is attempting to break out. Jump onto the hot ship. And I think the most important thing isn't necessarily, okay, let's jump to the hot ship. It's just make sure you're getting off the one that's weak. That's important. Now, I would argue for QBTS, this one, bit of a head and shoulders underneath VWAP. I still like it for the short underneath here, but as long as you're getting away from being super aggressive chasing the one that is clearly weaker. Now, you can have longs off the bottom, mean reversion. I think those are okay. But if you're trying to take the long and fight the one in here that's showing you the relative weakness, that's where you can get into trouble. This is why it's not a coincidence that you saw both Joe and Sharif on QSI, or why I jumped over to QSI as well, because you have one quantum name, two quantum names above VWAP, and one of them testing those highs. Now, the other side of this coin, I think, is this QUBT, because if, and this is obviously a big if we lose VWAP to the downside on these other names, we're talking about Rigetti, I'm talking about QSI, and the ones that are strong, remember what was already weak on QUBT, and look where the weakness is on this thing. Like, it has all the chance in the world to just give you a trade off of resistance. Watch those others like a hawk, and then understand this is the one maybe I like to the short side, and if they start to give it up after pressing hard, you might be able to short this off a 19 level with a nice defined range that you can work off of. So this is an easy one to have gotten away from the long in on QUBT. Fair enough. Get into the short? I don't know. I think in the middle is this QBTS. I like this for a current short because you've got VWAP in here, you've got a defined area where you can get in, where you can get out. At a bare minimum, I would at least say this is one that you get off of the long and look to one of the stronger ones. You've got to be able to categorize these as a group. There are days when everything just runs. Like yesterday, you could have got any of them long and you'd be fine. But this is a distinctly different day. And once it was about 10 o'clock, it was obvious that you could split these into multiple groups here. Now, you don't have to trade them all. I like to have ideas. I like this one short. I like this one long. That's just my cup of tea. And I like to try to structure simple trades, small losses when wrong, and then be able to hold it when you're right. But in order to do that, you've got to be willing to jump away from the stock that you thought was a long because the group was going, and go over to one that's either hotter, or be willing to short it because it's relatively weak. With these quantum names, there isn't an excuse for, oh, mine's not going today, there's no opportunity. That's not an excuse with the quantum names, because there's so many of them out there that there is one breaking out like QSI, that there is one holding VWAP like Rigetti, that there is one that's a short like QUBT. There's something for everybody with these names. So while it looked like they were all longs at 9:30 in the morning or at 8 o'clock when you sat down and you're getting ready in the pre-market, that's not the case here in the middle of the day. And you got to be able to adjust when that's what's being shown. We all have no problems doing that in the chip space, right? We'll say, hey, AMD stinks and NVIDIA is good some days, or Intel stinks and ARM is good. That's the thing we do all the time in big caps. When it's the small caps and an entire group is going, you have to have that same kind of flexibility as well. And I'm now going to shake my head at myself because I missed the short back through $1 on that GTI there, Sharif. Oh, that's disappointing. And that's the lesson of the day for you guys. But I actually paid for locates. And sometimes we do this lesson and you miss opportunities. I did miss this, and this is textbook. This is a textbook mean reversion through $1. Look at the trend up. Look at the trend to the upside right here. Hold the trend, and then it loses trend on the dollar, halts down. Yeah, this is, if it tries to press the dollar, I might try to short this one again. But your lesson of the day, make sure when an entire group is going parabolic that you don't just assume they will all continue in the same direction with each other. Every stock is going to be different, and you have to be able to be on the hot one if you're favoring longs and step off that ride if one looks like it's relatively weak. So that's the quantum names today. Good luck trading, everybody, and go QSI. Let's bounce again.
Shout out to Neil. Thank you, Neil, for his lesson of the day. Neil Roberts, every day around that noon hour. He's the knowledge dropper. Some people say it's Neilage. Some people say it's knowledge. We'll just say it's good information. Shout out to him every day around that noon hour.
All right, I see where you're getting at with that one, my guy. All right. I mean, hey, listen. The Playmaker poll is out, and I'm watching it kind of fluctuate here. What a tight race we got going on through the first 120 votes. Absolutely fantastic. 50-50 now, Sharif.
Okay,
All right.
Okay.
51 coming to the short side. Wow, this might be the first ever. Guys, let's see what's going on. Excuse me. The coffee there, Iltech Surgeon, $10 super chat.
There we go. He's dropping cash.
That's it. Yeah, that's it.
Man.
He didn't even ask for anything in the super chat. Just dropped it. All right. Thank you very much, Iltech Surgeon LLC. Much appreciated. Then we got another $2 super chat.
Dang.
Can you give me FFIE a quick check? Much appreciated. Of course, we can pull up FFIE. I know this thing was going a little bit meme craze as well too. Especially Davey Day Trader was all over this one. I think he's absolutely hilarious when he hops. Yeah, he's hilarious when he hops on. But yeah, guys, let's take a look at FFIE Faraday Futures Intelligence trading half decent. This is a little bit more around Sharif's realm here, so I'll take a quick look at it. And then we'll send it off to my guy, and he can probably break it down a little bit better for you than I can. But nice double bottom here. As you can see, I think this is when it was going crazy. Yeah, the volume was stepping in, everything along those lines back there in May. But again, giving back a lot of what it put up here. And sure enough, we're trading it back in around that dollar, sub-dollar level here on that front. So we're trading about $1.50 right now. Is price going to turn around? I mean, that's a nice double bottom there, but nothing can indicate. I don't know enough about this company in order to be like, hey, yeah, this is the bottom on FFIE.
Let's check out Fifi. Yeah, Faraday Futures. Randy ain't in the house today. Otherwise, we bring him on.
Is that Randy? Is that his thing?
Yeah, well, because he's an EV. He's a car guy. It's an EV company.
Okay.
Yeah, look, Fifi's all right today. It's up 12.9% with how much share? How many shares? 13.3 million on a dollar name. Not too bad. Look, it's sparsely traded. It's above VWAP. You like that. I personally like that, but it's below the pre-market high. That pre-market high got us to 155. If it gets above 155, I'd love for you to tag me again. Let me know. Then we'll be definitely way more interested in trading. But, I'm going to stick to my rules when it comes to small caps. They are very few, but I'm going to stick to them. Here are the rules. A definable pre-market high. So, typically I don't like to see something doing nothing in the pre-market unless it's an entirely new trade that got its catalyst after the bell. And it has to be above that pre-market high, and it also has to be above the volume-weighted average price. If I see those three things, definitely work my way into the name. This one's still missing one of those rules, or hasn't fulfilled one of those rules. It's got to get above that $1.55, but it's above the other ones. It's got a definable pre-market high. It's above VWAP, but it's got to get above that $1.55 for me to stay interested. So, a couple of things to talk about here. I'm all done my trade on Holo. I took it out at 37s. It's moving up to 40s. So this one, Holo, is still strong. It's up 63% now, and it's going. So I'm done my trade on this one, lamenting having taken it out here, but that's all right. We'll look to do a little bit better. So HOLO in focus. I'm also quite happy with how I executed so far on QSI. We got the DCAs, we're long 57s. I got my beak wetter at 82s. Now I'm setting up at 88s, but it is now putting in like lower highs but it's also got higher lows. It's still defending that 10 exponential moving average on the 5, but I am concerned that this one gives up the ghost and drops into that 50. Again, nothing changes for my trade. Anything below that 50 print, I've given it a few pennies below 50 to kind of create a buffer zone, and I'm gone. QSI is the ticker I'm talking about. Setting up next at 388. We got the beak wetter at 382, but it's not as directional right now. The other one that I'm in, ITM. So this one, hey, I mean, it's off VWAP. It defended the $1.50, so I'm kind of happy I didn't take everything out and get out of the trade, but it's not really paying me much. It's up 76%. It's kind of putting in higher lows now. So I am a little optimistic that if there isn't bamboozlement on this one, meaning that you get a big sell order that takes out all the stops only to pop right back up. That happens a lot with these small cap gappers, especially the ones that have become very consolidative and move sideways for a long time. What you end up seeing is a volume spike down, again, a specialist breakdown to trigger everybody stops, and then it moves right back up on its merry way. Boom, we took out 2 levels, Joseph. Bang on LITM, right to the high side. Let's set up now at 69s. This is my biggest position on the day, so we'll see if this one wants to continue. Boom, we took it to the high side there. I'm really happy that I packed my patience with this one, even though it was boring me to death. I kind of had experience. Here we go. It's going to take me out at 69s. Let's go, bro. Take out that size at 69. We're eating that size. Let's go. Keep your eye.
We're eating.
We're eating. You know what, Joseph? I'm not waiting. I'm taking it out at 68. Well, 68.
You would have got filled.
No, that was the fill right there. Now we're going to set up north. We're going to set up at 74s to front run the size at 75s. I'm happy I took it out because, look, it rejected it. So keeping an eye on that. QSI stopped me out. Dang it. All right, so we got stopped out on QSI. See, this is the specialist breakdown that I'm talking about. I'm going to get back in here. Yeah, I'm going to get back in to defend that $0.5. Let's just watch this for a second.
I'm waiting to see if this support level holds here. If we go, I'm willing to allow it to go into the middle of the range. I'm willing to allow it to go into the middle of this range, Sharif. If we go south of this, then I think the thesis is going to be invalid. But I'm watching it here as well too. Let's see if this resistance level now acting as support can hold. Yeah. Otherwise, I do think that we may be able to go to the bottom of this range and then break the volume weighted average price. But as of right now, let's be really patient and see when price tells us that it's going to potentially turn around. Guys, Bitcoin hitting around 93,000. Yeah. Oh man. I don't know. I'm not going to get too worked up about this. I can't really complain. But it's unfortunate. I mentioned earlier in the session just my thought process on this thing. Did think that we were going to go to that 1.25 kind of level, but now we're starting to form that head and shoulders here. With multiple tests of this 92K level coming into play, I think it's only a matter of time now until we break it and then head south back in towards these breakout levels. All right, folks. So 80s, mid 80s, maybe even low 80s at that point. So again, they're not going to make it too easy on us. Unfortunately, all these whales, even with everybody have price targets of like 185, 2.25, and etc. So they're not going to allow it to be that easy. It's only the strong will survive, I think, on this one. Sharif mentioned this earlier. Bitcoin and volatility go hand in hand. Oh, yeah. There's no doubt about that. So again, one is the other's sister or cousin. So, all right. So just keep that in mind, folks. Again, matter of time. I think probably by the weekend, when no one's really trading this. And Sharif, that's why I didn't really sell any calls against this position just yet, because of what can happen over the weekend, and I can't do anything about it, right? So again, selling some calls to get it, and then you get that massive rip, and then sure enough, you're holding onto some short calls that you don't necessarily want to, especially when this thing can decide that it wants to put in a 10K day. But as of right now, it's looking like it is going to break down. So maybe we reassess that situation and see what's going on, because we do have quite some size there. So I might look into lock in some unrealized there, even though we did give up a little bit of unrealized, but that's totally fine. We'll lock in some profits and then maybe reassess the situation come another week or two.
So you know that Tesla just dropped a new version of FSD, right? I think it's 14 or 13. Okay. Fact check me, chat. You guys know better. I forget the actual number version. And you know, Elon, I love him. You know, I'm a fanboy. So we're just going to preface this conversation by having said that. He was taken to X to really sing the praises of this new FSD, saying it's like nothing we've ever seen, top of the line, this, that, and the other. I've got a video. Ram's got it. She's setting it up.
She's setting it up.
I had my kind of experience with FSD as well. I had to intervene. I forget what they call it. I don't know if they call it an intervention or something like that. But this is really interesting here on FSD because I want to show when she sets it up. I want to talk about this because it did something very interesting. It trying to get into a lane.
Yeah, I remember you saying that.
Yeah, but then here's the thing. Once it's in that lane ended, and then the oncoming lane was the opposite direction, even though the car hadn't moved. So here it is. Ram, put it full. Get that thing out of the way. All right, so here, hold on, Ram, put it full screen, so everybody can see. You can just cover us. Thank you, Ram. Okay, so what's gonna happen is gonna get in the left turn lane. Pause it here, Ram. Okay, so this left turn lane ends early, and then it becomes a left turn lane for oncoming traffic.
Oh.
It doesn't understand that.
Okay.
Watch what happens. Play the video, Ram.
Right.
Here we go. So it's in the left lane. Now it's supposed to hook a left into the plaza. But look what happens, Joseph.
Oh.
That ends up being the oncoming left lane.
Oh.
Oh, no.
Oh.
Where are you going, Tesla?
Where?
You're going the wrong way, and then it panics, and it stops. I think the driver had to intervene there. So this is the growing pains, Joseph, of autonomous, of robotaxi.
Yeah,
there is this kind of stuff constantly on it. And look at it. It knows now it's in the wrong lane.
Yeah,
look, it's on the left side.
Yeah.
So look at the screen. Look at this screen, guys, of the actual Tesla driving. No, keep going, Rammer. And now it knows it's on the wrong side. Because look at how the yellow line is on the right side now.
Yeah. So it needs to be able to identify that significantly quicker.
Disengagements. Thank you, Chef Joe.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's some. So again, we're just kind of we're in the early stages of this too, right? So we're like beta mode, kind of essentially, right? So you're gonna see those type of errors, and I think the more data that Elon and company have the ability to collect, then you can eliminate.
That's the thing. That's the thing.
Those
it's a data game. I mean, a lot of people want to say it's an instrument game as well.
And do you think that's maybe why Waymo is slightly ahead of Tesla
They got IR experience IRL every day, bro.
IRL,
every day.
They
overtook freaking Lyft in one of the jurisdictions. I forget which jurisdiction it was, but they're doing more rides than Lyft, Joseph, with drivers. So, I mean, I'm not, Google is definitely not my account. I'm a Tesla shareholder.
So it's really quicker.
Yeah, so Ram brings up a really good point. She's like, if the car found another car in front of it, so if the Tesla detected a car in front of it, obviously Ram it would stop. And by the way, I showed you a bad video. I can show you a good video in a second of Tesla avoiding a collision in a way that I don't even think a human would because it was so quick. So, on the bad side, yeah, sure there is, but there's also on the good side as well. You were saying?
Yeah, I don't know. I lost my train of thought. Okay, we'll come back to that.
Here we go. Let's see what Big Spa is saying over here because we got a bunch of super chats. First, we got this individual. I can't see the full name. Let me widen the screen out. Where is it at? Oh, what's going on over here with this thing, bro? Why is it freezing on me? Won't let me scroll the chat. Why?
Kyle.
Here we go. Sorry about that. All right. Fernando Torres, 129 Mexican pesos. Thank you so much. Tema has just been listed on the Mexican, I guess, MXC. It will be the meme. Will it be the meme coin of 2025? I don't know if I have access. Let me have a look over here. TEMA, unless it's traded in North America. We'll get to your thing in a second, Big Spa. Allow me a moment. TEMA. So we're just going to stocks and ETFs so we can take everything out. Where is the Mexican exchange there? Looking. I don't see it. So I don't think I have access to that. Let me know, brother, what you said, the MXC. So give me a second to have a look
MXC, do you remember that show?
No.
You don't remember that show on Spike? MXC, the most extreme challenge.
No.
I think it was like Chinese, but they had the voiceovers.
I suck.
And they would run through the obstacle courses.
I
on
remember
Spike
something
TV.
like that. I don't remember the name
TV,
though.
no?
Eh?
Wow.
My bad.
I mean, chat, let me know if you guys remember that show, but sorry. Continue.
No worries. Yeah, I don't have the ticker for it. So let me know if TEMA is the ticker, because usually I have access to all these world markets. So thank you for the super chat. Just tag me, so you don't have to super chat again, Fernando. Just tag me so I can see it. Big Spile Burdette, $5 super chat. He's dropping that cash in the chat. Can we get a poll on how long before Trump calls Musk a moron on truth? Look, Big Spile, you're not the only one predicting there is going to be a break in the relationship between the Musk one and the Orange Man. And I say that as a loving thing. I don't have any problem with Donald Trump. I just want to make that very, very clear. You will have to wait and see, bro. We'll have to wait and see. But a lot of people are predicting that that relationship doesn't last long. I don't happen to be one of those people. I think that he's Donald Trump's markedly different this time around. He seems to have a level of clarity that I don't think he had, and a level of calmness. I think it's because he almost got killed. And I think that has affected him. This is just my opinion and just my observations from some of his interviews. I don't think he's as combative as he was in the past, at least not overtly. Maybe he is inside, and maybe his policies end up being that way, but I don't think he's as combative personally. That's just my opinion, and I'm entitled to it. So there we go. Yeah, just... Eclectic passions. Bro, stop. All right, shout out to you, my man. I appreciate that. That's funny there. All right, here we go. We took out more size there. There we go at 68s. Now we're waiting at 74s on LITM. Moving on the way up. I like how the look of this one's jib. It was kind of a slow mover to begin, and now it's kind of moving up incrementally. So I've got some ambitions for this one. Holo just tanked. It dropped aggressively off that 240 all the way down to lucky number 213. Is it a buy here? Well, it's still above VWAP, so we'll keep an eye out on that one. Let's see if my man there, Fernando, tagged me. Fernando, if you can hear me, brother, you're gonna have to tag me. Otherwise, I won't see your post, and I'd love to be able to answer your questions because you did super chat, and I'd like to be able to do that. So let me know exactly what you'd like me to look at there. TEMA, I couldn't find it on my exchange. All right, guys, I want to tell you about some other ones here that are moving. PDYN. This one, when we started off the show, was ugly. It did a bit of a big drop retracement. Hold on, Joseph. Right? And now we're putting in higher highs and higher lows. We're taking out $11. We're breaking this area crest over here, and we're above VWAP. So PDYN, certainly in focus. 51%. What are you laughing at?
Right. Trump wants Pangea again.
Pangea, yeah. I know. He does though, bro. He's trying to take Iceland or Greenland. He's trying to take the Panama Canal. He's trying to take Canada. He's trying to goad us in. He's like 60% lower taxes, more military, this, that, and the other.
This is crazy.
Calm down there, bro.
Yeah, I know.
All right, here we go. We're breaking out here, Joseph.
Oh my days.
We're breaking out here, Joseph. LITM just broke out, got 75s, now waiting at 78. This is my biggest position. Let's see if we can able to cross 78. 78 was the top there, but we didn't cross. Now we're going to dip back down into 75. Yeah, but Donald Trump, look, bro, expect more of this in the next 4 years. I mean, that's just going to be the way it is.
He's the greatest character of all time.
100%.
He's amazing.
And I love how people, the people in the chat, they don't like him, and you're completely entitled to that. And say what you want about him as long as it doesn't, use any swear words or any derogatory terms that upset Streamlabs or Bears versus Bulls. But the fact of the matter is, man, he's a very polarizing figure, and I think it's going to be that way for a hot minute. So we'll have to keep an eye out and see how his policies end up being. Joseph, we got 82s. Now we're waiting at 84s. LITM is breaking out. 88's the high, guys. So I'm going to be looking to take out some in front of the high, knowing full well we could reject that level. Now, that 188 high is the official high. That's not a pre-market high. We printed at 955s. So it's not like I'm trading this in breach of my rules because I'm trading it south of the pre-market high. That is not the fact. It did print that at 955. Shout out to Havana Woody. Trump is the master of trolling. Happy to agree there. Kyle Burdett, I talked Trump and my YouTube shut down. Yeah, it's probably for other reasons there, Big Smile. What's going on over there? Mike, how dare you have your own opinion? That is not allowed. I know. Some people would like to take your opinion away from you. That's not going to happen, baby. Pretty dang panda. I freaking sold 186 on LITM from 120. Shouldn't be allowed. I like it starts waking up again. My man, that's a trade. You took a big boy move there. You took a 66 penny move on a dollar name. Pat yourself on the back. That's an excellent trade. Shout out to you, Joseph.
Shout out to them. Yeah, a lot of people in the chat are saying, like, Mara, why is Mara doing Mara things? Well, I don't know. It's just living up to its name. It's tough being in this mining game. There's no doubt about that. I mentioned this from time and time again. It's tough to mining when the computers are continuously getting better and better, all right? So now when we're mining, when you're using these mining rigs, everybody wants to try to solve that algorithm, complete those hashes in order to get that blockchain on the blockchain. And now, sure enough, all these computers are so strong, it just takes up so much energy and is cost inefficient. And sure enough, when Bitcoin decides that it wants to sell, it's going to drag Mara down with it as well, too, in some of these Bitcoin miners, right? Because it's just an expensive game to be involved in. But we got a $20 super chat.
My man is dropping.
Yeah, Marty, cheers to the orange one. All right, the orange one, yeah. I like that it's orange, too.
I know, isn't that fantastic?
Yeah, in the background.
Do they get to choose the color when they super chat?
Yeah, I don't know.
Say that again, Adira.
Okay, so
it's based on amount, Adira says.
So there you go.
Okay,
interesting
well, there you
stuff.
go, baby.
I mean, he's got a new haircut and everything these days. You see the haircut? Hey, he's a funny guy. Listen, he'll just say anything. Like, whatever, if he... Yeah, he got a new haircut. You didn't
Did he
see
actually, though?
Yeah, he got a new haircut.
That's hilarious. The Katina
man. Yeah, something else. It doesn't look good. That's for sure. He's thinning up there, but I mean, the guy's getting up there, so the orange man. But yeah, guys, we're going to send it to Adara real quick.
What we're going to do here, as we always do around this time of day, is take a look at these small caps once again. IWM trying to base out a little bit here, down more than 2% still, but finding nice support around that 220.27 level. We saw a little bit of a bounce just now in the Qs and the SPY. It looks like the IWM feeling that effect as well. Now let's take a look at some of these small cap runners, FAAS, penny stock on Watcher. I'm seeing, and by the way, I'm getting these from my volume scanner. Anything I'm seeing popping up in volume right now, I'm pulling up to see if we can find any more last minute or midday runners. FAAS, company's called Digit Asia. Looks like this is a Singapore ADR, up about 43% right now, just shy of that $1 level. Looks like we rejected just shy of the $1 level. No news on this that I can find. Just under $10 million market cap and 4.5% short float. There's also this VXRT I'm just seeing popping up here. This one up about 19%, 5.3% short float, about 4 million shares traded on the day. The market cap of around $164.5 million. SISI, this is Shineco. This one pulling back a little bit, but still getting some volume. Hard $4 rejection for SISI. No catalyst, Chinese ADR with a 7% short float, a $5.7 million market cap, 1.2 million share float, and total volume of 1.53 million shares traded on the day. So if you're looking for any of these other small cap runners popping up here are the few. These are going to have a little bit lighter volume than what you're going to see Sharif trading over there on the show. But beware, there's always more small cap runners on the way. Back to you guys.
Love it. The Katina man has returned. Look, we're 50 handles on the bottom. I was telling him, Katina man, we're bleeding too much. We're down 2% on the market. He's like, what? We're up a couple of handles. Calm down. And he's not wrong. We are up a couple of handles off that 21,498. We did technically defend 21,500. We're about 55 points, well below, though, volume weighted average price, and obviously well below the overnight high. All right, I'm really happy with how I traded LITM so far. We took out some at 84s. I've set up at 94s. I still have several more outs on this one. It did come back into 70, kind of predictable with where we got, because we got into 88s. I told you guys 88s was the high of the day that we printed at 955 this morning, the implied balance high. Now, if this comes into that $1.50 and holds up you better believe I'm going to be adding at that $1.50 at that volume weighted average price. I want to see what it does. I don't have to be quick to add into that $1.50, especially if it whiffles and waffles like it did earlier. So I'm quite pleased with how this trade has gone. I do need to bring to your attention, though, one that I brought to your attention about 10 minutes ago, PDYN, about to take out the high of the day. Okay, now this high of the day is an official high of the day. We printed it subsequent to the bell at 9:45, 11.73. We're printing 65s right now, so we're like 10 pennies away. Here we go. What a breakout through $11. And look at that, supported with volume, big boy volume, over 1.2 million shares on this one 5-minute candle alone, really helping propel this above that $11 area, which was an obvious area of resistance. You whiffled, you waffled, and you dropped down into the volume weighted average price only to retest that $11 area this time, making a new high. Now let's see if we can get above that 73 penny area. 11.73 is what I'm talking about here on PDYN. Good direction and good higher low situation. But if you were trying to base your trades off VWAP, you probably had trouble. It really only gave you one excellent entry on VWAP, and that was this candle here on the 5-minute chart at 12.10. It wicked into VWAP into that 10.25, and then it never looked back. Otherwise, if you set up at VWAP here or here or here, you probably got stopped out because the range per candle was quite wide. Case in point, look at this candle here that breaches VWAP. It goes to 10.75, and then it drops to 9.80, essentially $1 in one 5-minute candle. Hard to manage risk on a small cap gapper with that kind of range, but that's what you get with this one, and you know that ahead of time. So if you don't like it, don't trade it. Joseph.
If you don't like it, don't buy it, all right? And that's that, folks. Man, Sharif, I'm actually buzzing over here watching this poll. Like, this is neck and neck here. 51% to the short side, 49% to the long side. This is the closest it's ever been. I mean, with 734 votes, that's insane. Who is going to win this race? I cannot wait to see that. This is the closest it's ever been. Those votes are starting to roll in now as well too, Sharif. So just watching this, I'm having an absolute ball. Bang. Another Nimrod, our guy. Hey. Happy Hanukkah.
Happy Merry Christmas.
Yeah, exactly. Happy Hanukkah and Christmas there. Thanks for the 35. I forget what currency that is. Super chat, but thanks for LITM and QSI. No problem, my guy. Let's take a look back at QSI and see what it is up to. Yeah, since kind of pulling back, we're now trading back within that range that we were looking to hold as kind of a support level, but it's not doing that right now. Let's see if we're going to kind of hold and build somewhat of a base here. We are holding the volume weighted average price as well too, so that can be positive for QSI, but are we starting to form a little bit of a head and shoulders here on the 5-minute and the 1-minute? If you're asking me, it's kind of looking like that right now. So we have this consolidation phase 1 or shoulder 1 with that head, and then going into consolidation phase 2 or shoulder number 2. So let's see if this range holds. If we break these key support levels, then hey, I'm going to kind of suggest that there might be a little bit more downside on QSI, but as of right now, we're holding pretty and steady there at this $3.50 level. Let's see if we can continue to hold those, and if we decide that we want to break back up, then maybe we look for the long. But if we do break those key support levels, then we're going to look to participate to the downside. All right, folks. I'm only in TSLA. I don't have much left, to be honest with you. And it's looking like we're starting to pull back in as well too, with the overall market and the SPY looking like it wants to make a new low. Going to test those lows of days, and the Qs looking like they potentially could break this support level that they have established here as well too, guys. So if we do break here on TQQs, this 82.50 level, then I think there's going to be some more downside. Do I want to be buying the or selling the bottom of this range? Maybe, but I'm going to want to see some volume step in order to give me a little bit more confirmation that we're ready to break to the downside and then have that second leg. But I'm going to keep an eye out on TQs as we go potentially break this support system that we have established. Maybe do I get involved here? Yeah, I think so. I think I'm going to get involved here on the short side. Wow, what a neck and neck race here, guys. Just I did vote short. long, sorry. So again, let's see what happens. But is this volatility going to pick up here in the TQs and in the overall market as the SPY continues to sell off here, Sharif?
Yes,
and
sir.
with the Qs about to make a new low a day, or are currently making a new low a day, because SPY definitely is right now, my brother.
All right, man. Shout out to Nabil Ghani, which means he's rich, means Nabil Rich. Probably his last name, but shout out to him. Here's what he says. I was in the drop of PDYN, heart attack. I'm assuming that's what you meant. Got myself
50,
on the way
50.
up as I held it, but in and out. That's enough for a Friday. LOL, my man, you're missing the best part of it. It's taking out 12 1/3. It's at big boy highs. It took out that not pre-market, that 11.45 high at 11 3/4. It's like almost $1 above that, 75 pennies above that level, and it's going. And look at the volume bars. They're increasing like basically everyone higher than its predecessor. So you're getting participation in this one, certainly. Now, here's the look. What's the move here? Are you going to punch in at highs? I don't know. That's really not my move. So here's my move. I would add into 12. I would leave a resting order for a dip trade into 12 if it comes and tests that. You know, I put it at 12.05, front run the whole dollar in case you get exuberant buying. And then if it breaches that, which it looks like it might, I'm setting up at 11 3/4. Well, how come? Why are you setting up at 11 3/4? Well, that's an area crest. That's the area that we rejected off. So if it's an area of previous support, sometimes, not all, it acts as support on the way down. Here we go. It's going to take out that 12.5, bro. This thing's a rocket ship. It took the 12.5. Here comes 12 2/3. There goes 12 2/3. We're going to, okay, you guys get it. Now we're at the $0.75. So PDYN, a dang rocket ship. It's got a 1, 2, 3, 6 candle setup. Green right now off the volume weighted average price off 10 1/4. Just took out 12 3/4. Big strength right now in PDYN. And shout out to Yannick. Thanks for PDYN. You're welcome. Too bad I don't have it. I suck. But yeah, no, seriously though, that is a great look. Shout out to Yannick on that. Pretty Panda, man, I was sitting in PDYN for months. I sold the pop in October. Bad choice, of course. But dang, I hate that name, LOL. Look, brother, you clearly have, something like a relationship with that name that, maybe you should leave it alone, because that's kind of why I sometimes don't trade apples. Like I don't trade Pandub. Those are my biggest names, and sometimes you view them from your investment goggles rather than your trading goggles, right? And that's kind of a problem I've had at times. But hey, PDYN, guys, is a dang rocket ship at the moment. We don't even have it up on a trading screen. That's what kind of a bad trader we are. So we're going to throw that up right now. It trades on the NQ, and it's about to take out $13. No size on the book here at 13. Might be hidden orders. There might be icebergs, but there was no size posted on PDYN. Sorry about that. There we go. So we're technically now the high of the day, $12.99. So it looks like we may not get that dip trade after all at $12. That looked like a pipe dream for now. Back into 12 2/3 we go. Let's see how deep possibly this retracement goes, but it's been a good look right now on PDYN. Joseph, I'm going to keep my eye out on this one. Let's have a quick look at the MAG. No, the MAG is still down and to the right. I mean, there's really nothing. Well, we'll see. We'll see if it pops. I'm seeing possibly some double bottoms here on NVIDIA, a base at 21,500 on the future. We'll see if we can get that pop up, Joseph. But right now, it doesn't look forthcoming.
No, it does not, guys. I punched out of my TQs because, as I mentioned, I'm selling the bottom of this range. Not something that you necessarily want to do. We want to be able to get in on the top of this range. So let's see how much we squeeze up here before we decide that we want to take another leg to the downside. Because with the SPY continuing to move to the southeast, I do think that we will continue this selling pressure. Crispy, nice look. I know you said you had some CSPs there on NVDA, and you're going to get assigned. So it happens. I mean, that's what you had it for, essentially, right? Now you can just get a couple more shares added to your position, my guy. So, I mean, NVDA at 130.39 or 136, whatever your strike may be. I think in a couple of months, in 6 to 8 months' time, then you'll be happy about that average price. That's no doubt about that, I think. So again, I would like to own some maybe around this level. If it ever got to 99 again, I think that you have to absolutely be a buyer of NVDA at that price. Pathetic. Sangjavi, GME. Sorry if I butchered your name there, my friend. I mean, not too much going on with GME here. Again, we sat on top of that daily range, but then we didn't really do too much with it. We decided that we wanted to push all the way to 34.37, but then we just gapped down again, all right? So just keep that in mind. This thing isn't memeing. Roaring Kitty didn't post anything today or anything along those lines. There's no outstanding volume or above relative volume on this thing, so I'm not going to pay too much attention to it. Not my favorite trader, but again, if those who are in GME and who are holding GME, hopefully that kind of comes in again. But again, I mentioned this before that I don't know if Wall Street is going to allow that, but bless you, Fabian, or Andre, whoever was sneezing back there. Yeah, so guys, AMD looks bullish. I'm not going to repeat the other words said there. Yeah, let's take a look here, guys. Sorry, I had like a lot of coffees here, so and caffeine doesn't sit too well with me. I get the jitters and everything like that. But all right, guys, let's see what AMD is. It was really strong out of the opening drive, believe it or not, and then since kind of pulled back with the rest of the market, now holding above the volume weighted average price. But did we put in somewhat of a double top here on AMD, especially with NVDA and the overall market continuing to sell? Let's see what happens here with AMD. This might be a little bit of a range trade for the rest of the session. We are in that lunchtime hour, so again, nothing outstandish from a price action standpoint, brother. I'm looking to get in some TQQs at the top of this range here. I think, yeah, this is where we're going to look to get involved because we had the inability to form any of that new higher high there. So maybe we are putting in a lower high and then we'll go and test the low of day, brother Sharif.
Bro, we're just rocketing up. Like I this is not my area of expertise. I don't excel at this. Andre, I need to show them what we're doing here. Yeah, here we go. We're about to take out 14 right now on PDYN. I just don't excel at punching in at highs. Perhaps I need to, find one of these areas. I'm seeing this a lot where we get 1 minute candle pauses and then we continue on our merry way, especially when the trend is this aggressive. And this is kind of the benefit of sometimes executing on the 1, because you're not going to see this on the 5. You don't see these 1 candle holdups over here. So PDYN is a dang rocket ship right now. 1375 HOD. We're still at 13.5. You're not really getting much of anything in terms of a pullback. No candles have made a lower low as relative to the previous candle before it. So, wow, here we go. We're going to take out 75s, it looks like right now. And 74 is knocking on the door, likely going to blow through 14. Here comes 14, 1389 now on PDYN. It's likely going to go triple digits. We're up 90% now. 14 is just like a second away. So great strength right now on this name, but oh, wow. Yeah, this is not where I excel, dude. I don't do well punching in at highs. Now, I know some of these, the greatest small cap traders, they add into these winning positions and they add aggressively, but they're adding and removing. That's maybe where I need to, improve on, especially with these ones, because you can make the most out of these ones. So definitely I want to, look to do better on that in the new year. No question about it. So 1405 now HOD. Let's see if this one blows through 14 like it blew through 13, like it blew through 12. 1150 was kind of that previous high off which we were basing all the trades. 11 3/4. That was the crest that we put in at 945, but that seems like a distant dream at the moment right now. Random oddities, your style of punching in on the 10 EMA pullbacks on the 1 minute is a good one, though I do appreciate that, and it does work at times, but I need to adapt a strategy that works in this scenario as well, because this is where you make a lot of the money. Now, I started off my trading journey back in 2020, trading these small caps. I was following a small cap trader that did exactly what I just finished describing. He'd punch aggressively into these positions as they were moving up. He'd be removing shares, adding, removing and adding, all on the way up, locking in profits. And that's kind of what I want to be able to do a little bit there. So keeping an eye, or I'm definitely going to have my focus on that in the new year, no question about it. Absolutely. Yes, Joseph is ready to pay some bills.
Hey guys, Trade the Pool allows stock traders just like you to get evaluated and trade real shares using the company's capital with no PDT rule holding you back. Trade the Pool has just launched a limited edition program for a one-time fee of just $300. You'll receive $80K in buying power and the chance to become a funded trader. Hit a profit target of just 4% and you'll start trading the company's capital. Get funded faster and easier with the new conditions designed for success. And the best part is the profit split has been upgraded to a generous 70% so you can keep more of what you earn. Don't wait, check it out now and see how Trade the Pool can help you trade bigger and most definitely better there, folks. Trade the Pool, you see the QR code there. That's all we got to do is just scan things these days and we get what we need. So yeah, QR code, link in the description, folks. Trade the Pool, all right? So I know it's a couple people, Sharif, in the chat are asking me about MSTR. Crispy in the chat says, Joe, do you see MSTR going above 375 before the 17th of January? I have 2 CSPs and it's been killing me. All right, well, I don't know above 375. If that's your strike price, that's a tough look there because you're gonna get assigned all the way up there and prices down here. You can just roll those as well too, so just realize that loss and then look for a new strike price. But I mentioned to you on this before, I think that Bitcoin is headed to the downside. Are we in that phase on the poll where we had that poll 50K or 150K? I mean, I was leaning towards that 150K, but again, slightly raining on that parade to that price target. Do I think it's going to drop down to 50K? Almost half of the value that it is now? No, but I think it's going to be a little bit of a journey to 150K. They're not going to make it as easy as some of us were projecting it to be. Now, just these key support levels, if we give way, I'm going to suspect some more downside on MSTR, and the same thing goes with Bitcoin as well too. So kind of the charts kind of mirroring each other there, hovering around some key support levels. So just keep an eye on those. If they break, then look to reassess your trading plan and see what you can do from that standpoint, brother.
All right, topping tail on PDYN, but you know, I really want to stress that I don't believe these topping tails are as operative on these small cap gappers as they are in the large cap. Like if I saw this on Meta or on an Apple or whatever, I definitely wouldn't be punching long. And this is what I'm talking about right here. This candle that printed at 12:45 on the 5-minute, PDYN. Now, I believe this might be setting up for a continuation. It's really going to be about exercising patience and getting your entries on the lower end of the range. The question is, what is that range? Is it $13? Is that the low end of the range? Or is it the low end over here at 12.75, right, to account for this bottom candle? Or do you have to wait all the way for that $12 area where the 10 exponential moving average is hanging out? It's kind of hard to know, right? So you could, do one thing here and layer your orders at different levels, and, try to get it in your head that you may not be able to catch the bottom as easily, as say being able to pick it up off VWAP or a whole dollar level. So right now, a 2-candle red setup on PDYN is the one I'm talking about right now. I do want to mention that I am involved in a new name. It's called GTI. Neil called this one out earlier, and it did get into VWAP. I got long. Where am I long? 79s. I just took out some at 85s. It's at 86s right now. I'm layering my orders. I'm waiting at 88s and 92s. This one is kind of doing that rounded, that curling effect off the volume weighted average price. Boeing is just ringing right now in my ear, which means that it got to the bottom end of the range. Sorry to jump around over here, but I do have to kind of manage all these things at one time. Let's have a look at the 5-minute on Boeing. Okay, so it's at the high end of the range. So this is the area where it's putting incrementally lower highs. Look at that 950 print. That's the high of the day, 181.43. Look at that 1050 print. That high there got to 181.26. You see a pattern over here? Look at this high at 11:35, 181.17. And this high over here, 181.05. We're putting incrementally lower highs, but kind of a predictable range in and around that 181 and change. It's already below 181, dipping into 188, 180.88, excuse me. So Boeing locked in a bit of a range right now. Dara was trading this. Shout out to her. Hope she's killing it on that. Now, here we go back to GTI. As this is curling back, I'm waiting at 88s, printing 86s right now. So we'll see if this one wants to be forthcoming for another print. Nick, dang W, $20 super chat. My man's dropping cash in the chat there.
Dang.
Sharif, all good, man. I really like your strategy. I think you could take the break there at 1175 and then take profit after a full cut move. Yeah, 850 to about 1175 equals 325 plus 1175. He's doing the measured move. I love that. 15 and a quarter is what he comes up with, and then buy at retracement of 1175. That is not a bad idea at all, Nick, and I love how you structured that with the math there so that everybody can see your thinking. That's a good call out by you, my man. Thank you for that. Definitely going to keep that, copying that, and going to keep those levels there handy when we do need it. But now back to PDYN, dropping down aggressively here into that 12.5. Could we get a move into 12 bucks and a buyout? Now, what I've seen here at times when they do dip in and when they start pulling in towards a 10 exponential, oftentimes they don't touch them because there's just so many buyers waiting there to pick up the dip. It doesn't quite make it back into that $12 area where the 10 exponential is hanging out. So I'd like to see what this one does. I'm going to throw a dip trade though at 12. I think that I'm required to here for this. So we're throwing a dip trade right at that 12.05. Come what may, it's front running the 10 exponential because the 10 exponential is at 1190. So I'm technically front running it a little bit. We'll see what we get there, and hopefully we don't get upset with PDYN. Let me tell you though, anything below 1175, I'm out. And the only reason is, again, it's an area crest. What's going on there, Joseph?
The longs took the lead, 51% to 49%.
Hey, the longs took the lead, eh?
They took the lead.
The Katina man influenced them. He sat down, he said the market's curling up, and all of a sudden.
Did he vote, Katina man?
I don't know. You're going to have to, I think he votes.
He voted, eh?
The Katina man, you voted, right? It's like when I caught Arun not subscribed to the channel. Try to tag him in the chat. He's not even in the chat.
Right,
that's his point.
Right.
His point is like, he's not even in the chat, bro. I'm just like, I'm trading. Hey, no.
All right,
You're shorting AMD again? The Katina men short AMD at these levels, by the way. What's your entry, Katina man? 124 and a half? 47s. Katina men short 124, 47s on AMD. And as you can see, I don't have it up on the side, but the 1130, 1140 pop got right into that 12 and a half, 124 and a half, and then we know what happened.
I know Neil voted. I know Neil voted.
Oh wow, you're putting all of them on the spot, eh?
I know you voted because you're that guy. You vote. You know what I mean? So you hopping on the.
Joseph,
yeah.
You're setting yourself up here, bro.
For what?
You're setting yourself
I'm just
up
saying. I
for
know
us to
you
look bad.
No,
because
why?
neither of them voted.
Yeah, they voted. I know Neil voted, man. I know he voted.
What a guy.
It's all good. It's all good. It's all fun and games. But man, what a neck and neck race there. I'm enjoying this one. BTC ripping back after a government decision. I don't know if I don't know if it's ripping, man. That's all I can say. You're a little overzealous there, I think, on that, because what I'm looking at and what you may be describing are not correlated whatsoever. So I mean, hey, I'll take it on any positive. On any positive news, we'll see if we can continue to move higher there on BTC. But Sharif, we're starting to kind of pull back here on the TQs with the inability to kind of go and test these lows again, which is totally fine. If we break this here, I'm going to get out again, and then I think that's it. I'm not going to try to short this market any more. That is for sure, considering that we may have put in a double bottom here on the Qs as well too. So just a little bit of a wick out here, and then slowly curled back over, and then sure enough starting to climb slightly higher and higher and higher. So a little bit of a cover rally maybe on that front there, folks. So we'll continue to monitor what's going on there and see if anything else sets up, all right? So guys, continue to let us know what you're looking. All right, yeah, I hope you didn't, Mila, I hope you didn't mean ripping, because it is not doing that. So you got me a little excited there, but unfortunately that isn't the case, guys. So let's see what else is going on here in the market. Tina Man's short AMD, Sharif's long LITM, and some GTI. I didn't really look at GTI today, Sharif. How's it?
GTI, baby.
Golf GTI, GraphJet technology. Okay. Nice daily there on GTI. Let's zoom in a little bit here on the 5-minute chart and see what we're going on. We kind of are hovering above that volume weighted average price, a little out of my price range here. 87 cents for this thing here, Sharif, on GTI. So yeah, let's see if we hold. Let's see if we hold the volume weighted average price here, folks.
That's my entry.
Yeah, you're right in at VWAP?
Right at
Nice,
VWAP.
nice.
Yep.
So you're a little bit in the money there. Nice work there, brother. Nice entry as well too, keeping that risk profile nice and tight. Now, guys, again, I mentioned this in PDYN. Yeah, let's take a look at PDYN. Paladin AI Corp. Yeah, oh, wow, this thing's really trading nicely, continuing to move higher here. That volume stepping in on this breakout, creating a new high of day as well, too. So we blew past that previous high of day and now constructed a new one there, putting in a high of 1406 on the session for Paladin. Let's zoom out a little bit here and see what we got going on from a daily perspective. Oh, wow, what a breakout here. Fantastic trading. Up significantly. Is it going to go for that 100% push? Maybe. I think it's totally plausible here today on the session. Yeah. So let's see what PDYN. Were you trading this earlier? PDYN?
Yeah, no, I did. This one I didn't get into.
Okay.
Yeah,
PDYN,
this one I'm really, I've got a dip trade set up at 12. Nice. It's not going to come in. Right. Looks like it was at 12.5. But this is looking awfully bull flaggish right now, especially on the 5. Now, you can see what you want, but I've seen this pattern a bunch of times. When something is super strong like this, it just can't go in a straight line, or typically doesn't. It's going to whiffle. It's going to waffle. It's going to bull flag, and then possibly get that continuation. Now, it's going to be incumbent upon you to build a position. If you do theorize and hypothesize that this is a bull flag, it's incumbent upon you to build your position at the low end of the range, the low end of the flag part. We know the flag part sometimes, there's areas that breach it, but it's the closing prints that I'm looking at the most. So 13 right now, we've got a higher low on this current 5-minute candle than we do on the previous one. I'd like to build a position somewhere around 12 3/4, 12 maybe in 4/5, in and around that area if it comes down. Doesn't look like my $12 dip trade gonna print anytime soon. But let me tell you about GTI because we're doing well on this one. So I want to talk about this one for a second. We just got the print there at 88s. Now I'm waiting at 92s. There is a seller though at 90. Here we go. We're taking him out on the level on the ask. Can we take him out on the bid? Yes. Here we go. Now we're breaking through 91.5. Here we go, 92. That's what I hate about these sub $1 stock. They got 4 decimal places, and there's so many different levels that you have to take on the way up. Let's see if we can get into that 92. We're gonna have to cross and bang. There we go on 92. Now let's set up a little bit higher here, Joseph. We're gonna set up at 96s. Hold on, how many outs do I have? I don't want to take out too many here.
All right.
We're going to put it at 98s to front run the size at the dollar. Hopefully we can get that. And so good look right now for GTI. I saw somebody in the chat. Who was it? Someone's like Suzuki Swift GTI. I don't think so, bro. I'm pretty sure it's a Golf GTI, but yeah, shout out to you. Malinowski, AVGO moving. Absolutely, sir. When is AVGO not moving? Is it moving back up? That's probably what it's doing. Let me have a look out here. Yeah, it's curling. It's breaking that 241. It's above VWAP. It's still negative on the day. It's got to cross that 245 and change to go green. Bang, Joseph. There we go on GTI. We're going to take out more here. Boom. Oh, now we're done the trade. Oh, it's going to halt. Hey, okay, I took it out at the halt level. All right. Okay. A false halt there, Joseph. There we go. Dip back down. Now, do we add into this false halt? Hold on. Let me think about this. So do we defend the dollar right now? Is this an add into the false halt back down into $1? So the high of the day now is still 110. You still haven't taken out 110. We're printing 104s right now. It was a false halt, I believe, at 106. That's where I got printed. No, I'm not going to add here. Let's see what it does with 110. If it wants to clear 110 and print a new high of the day, I'll wait for a break and take of 110. Then I'll add on a possible dip trade. Use 110 as support. So we'll continue to watch here. There's a lot of chop and churn right now happening on GTI right now. It's up 210%. Let's put some dang respect on this one's name. Started its life out today at 35, 36 pennies. Now it's knocking the door or above the buck. Looking to go $1.25 possibly here. GTI is what I'm talking about. We'll keep an eye out on that one. What else? Nick Dub. Mind taking a look at BBAI, Big Bear AI. I have a large swing position. I've been I've been in and I'm looking at a $10 target for over 50%, then 15 for another 40, and then we'll hold the rest. Absolutely. We were trading Big Bear yesterday, Nick Dub. But let's have a look at it right now. We're going to look at a wider time frame for you there on Big Bear. So I don't know if you want to let me know where you're in, Nick, but this is the daily on Big Bear AI, and it's a good-looking chart, my man. You're above the 10. You're above the 20. You're above the 50. You're above the 200. You're putting in higher highs, higher lows. It's still trading, you know, very volatile though, right? Like if you were to look at the range per day, percentage-wise, these are big moves. Like let's just take yesterday, case in point, from that 362 low to that 475 high. We're up over 30% yesterday, and today technically an inside day. You're kind of ensconced with the highs and the lows yesterday. Now let's see. So this is a great looking rounded bottom, brother. This is a good look. Are we above this level? That $5 level though, Nick, that's trouble. That takes us all the way back to March. If we can break and hold above 5, what a beauty. Now the other side of that coin is you can get that cup and handle formation, right? You don't have to just have a rounded bottom. You can rounded bottom and then you have that sideways consolidation, the handle part of the cup and handle pattern, so you can whiffle and waffle at 475.5. Adara's got something for us at the big desk.
All right, get back with
What we're going to do here is take a look at crypto as we always do during the midday around this 1 p.m. time. And let's take a look here at the fact that Bitcoin is actually poised for its first red December. We posted this chart here from Bloomberg on TTV Research. So check out our Trader TV Research account. We just actually also posted our second original graphic. So definitely give that account a look if you're looking for trading info or just fun market facts, because we're updating that every single day. Now, we are set here for our first red December. Not notably, Bitcoin's down about 0.7% in the month. Ethereum a little bit weaker, and all of these crypto stocks getting hit especially hard month to date. MSTR down 13%. Coinbase down 9%. Mara down 28%. All of these names pretty weak, so keep an eye here on these crypto names. But yeah, Bitcoin, after a great November and a 3-month green streak, looking to go red. Now, in terms of names to look at on the day, one name that's actually quite strong today is Cardano. So shout out to Sean there. We're going to take a look at ADAUSD. This one's actually trying to get back above that previous support here in a closing level around that 87-cent level, currently around 89. But we are still making these lower highs, lower lows for the most part. Certainly made a heck of a topping tail candle here, December 3rd. So that would be the first Tuesday of the month of December. Since then, we've been on quite the downtrend. Areas of potential support, if we even fall further, would maybe be this kind of chop and churn we had in mid-November, that 70-cent level. And then, of course, our base from November is 31 cents. So even though we are in a bit of a downtrend, it's worth noting Cardano's had quite the move up since the election, like all these other crypto names. So that is our crypto look. Make sure to check out that chart on TTV Research. Back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Adara. Shout out to Nick Dub, who's just dropping cash in the chat today. Another $20 super chat. Sharif, I just made a bunch on GTI. Sending you a little appreciation for that look. Great look there. Thank you. No, thank you, Nick Dub. I appreciate the kind words, and I hope you print up. That's storm. There we go, my man. All right, Joseph.
Hey, guys, welcome. Yeah, let's go. We're ready to rock and roll here, guys. Look at this. Look at this equity curve, man. This is insane. Like, look how, man. Wow. I mean,
Ram is very upset that you're continuing to use that, by the way.
No, did she say something? She's not here.
No, she's not here.
No, we're supposed. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I figured that. We're supposed to set something up. I messaged her. I was like, hey, what happened? And then sure enough, this is where we stand. But guys, we got some cool stuff coming. We're going to make this a little more animated for the people and just have a little bit more fun than just this kind of blank Excel sheet. But guys, we need to get into this position real quick here on the SPY. And guys, man, I mean, 1,100 votes, 52% to 48% to the long side. I thought the short side was going to edge it out today, Sharif, but that is not the case, all right? That is absolutely not the case. What a neck-and-neck race there. That's the closest it's ever been. Absolutely fantastic. Let's hope that we can catch a good price here on these SPY, because we are starting to pull back a little bit here, folks, and then potentially make that whoa, TSLA. Okay, are we ready here? Are we ready?
All right,
yeah, we're doing the SPY.
All right, let's do
doing the SPY playmaker pull here. All right, guys.
We pulled back a little bit.
We're pulling back here, so we got to enter now. Yeah, entry price.
591.90.
591.90. Bang. All
We're
right.
taking everything out at 590.90.
590.90.
That's a stop.
That's our stop there. Hold on. We are
Yep.
messing this one up here. Don't panic. 590.90. All right. And
593.90.
593.
We're taking
90. Bang. All right. So we're going to the long side once again there, folks. I thought that we were going to be able to, or actually I voted long, so it's not we, it's the people who voted. I thought that we would be going short on that front there, guys. So there we go. There's the 14th entry. Look at this. After 14 trades, being in a trade for a single hour, this is the result thus far. Absolutely phenomenal. I love collecting data like this. Makes things a lot more fun there, folks. So let's see if we get stopped out or we become profitable on this one. If we do get stopped out, it'll be our second stop out of all time. All right. So guys, let's take a look at here on some TSLL here. Let me zoom in. I had a little bit of the position left, not much at all. But then I decided that I wanted to add kind of at the break of this resistance level. And sure enough, we just pulled back and then went to the bottom of this range. Totally fine. We'll reassess the situation as the rest of the market, decides that it wants to pull back in a little bit here with the SPY and the Qs kind of just hovering within that range. Guys, it is Friday, totally justifiable as well too, all right? Especially after the holidays, a little profit taking. Let's take a look at NVDA, the chosen one, who, Sharif, coming up in a couple of days, we had NVDA to be the highest market capitalization company.
Oh, yeah. What day did we talk?
By the end of the year, right? So we had, it was NVDA, NVDA, Apple, Microsoft, and it's Microsoft, NVDA, Apple, NVDA, Microsoft, I think, so far, guys. So, yeah, I mean, hey, what a tough run this thing has been on. I don't think the price action has been that orderly, especially within this range here. Nothing we can really do about that, right? I do think that we slowly start to recover here, holding these support levels and this little bit of a bounce. Are we forming a lower high here? Possibly, but I think this just might be a little bit of a pullback here. The volume is extremely low as well too on that front. So I think maybe we do pull back in the new year, and then maybe we can continue to move to the northeast, Sharif, and test those all-time highs.
All right, so we're in PDYN. We're at $13 right now. That's the price. We're at trading at $12.80, so we're 20 pennies out of the money. I still like the fact that it's holding the 10 exponential. It's not now, though, putting in higher lows, unless you're looking at that one candle at $12.50 and basing it off that, and that's what I've done. So I'm basing my stop on this area trough. It's going to have to hold this area trough for me to stay involved. Otherwise, we're gone Zeno. 12 3/4 we're trading right now. I'm layering my orders above 13 for the outs in case it does pop. I'd like to be able to catch some profitability on this one, but it's looking like it's going to retrace here. So we might be on our first L right now with PDYN. Should have been punching in while this one was moving up. I'll look to do better next time. So PDYN, we'll see if it wants to bounce off here. I'm also keeping an eye on HOLO. It's coming back into that, where's my HOLO trade? Let me just pull that bad boy up. No, I removed it off a trading screen. I think I put QSI, here we go. We'll take out that, no, it's HOLO. HOLO's coming back into that 1240 area, very interesting area for me because that is the high of the day. And we have multiple 5-minute candles, all of which reject 240, but now we're moving right back into that level. So if we squeeze here above 240, and there is substantial size at least posted on the level 2 at the ask at 240, let's see if we're able to break that level and move back to the high side over here. Then you can base a trade off that level 240 in case it comes back down and tests it again. LITM, been waiting on this one to really kind of get going. The best we did here was at $1.84. I'm still waiting at $1.94, but it's down now to 171. I built my position at the volume weighted average price at $1.50. So we've got a decent, amount of room between where we're trading right now and the entry. So I can kind of, I don't want to say rest easy or anything like that because the bottom can drop off at any time, obviously, with these ones. So I'm keeping my eye on LITM, especially if it starts putting in incrementally lower highs for a flat bottom break. I don't want to be part of that and give back the entire move back into my entry. So I'm packing my patience right now with PDYN, with LITM. GTI was unable to break that $1.10. So I was talking about GTI and how we could get back into GTI over here. We got in at that 105, but I've been waiting for a $1.10 break and take, and that would be the break of the high of the day, and then we could base a trade off the high of the day, but that isn't forthcoming either. There's not much else going on. QSI, though, seems to be moving back up over here. Let's see what we got here with QSI. There it is. QSI back up at that 3 2/3. Good look on QSI, still well off the highs there that we got. 382 is the high. That's where we took it out last time. But since that time, it's been putting incrementally higher highs and higher lows. All right, guys, the new poll is now active. You got Holo, you got Sound, you got Broadcom, AVGO, and then Sean's favorite, PLTR. Making a lot of millionaires this year, Palantir is. There's no question about that. Not just the insiders. So vote right now so we can have the good afternoon rundown with things that you guys want to talk about. I'm personally going to vote for AVGO because it's just been a dang rocket ship as of late, right? Everybody loving this one. Drunken Miller, obviously now cycling out of NVIDIA into Broadcom, selling his entire stake the end of Q3, and now making Broadcom one of his top 15 holdings. Oh, PDYN is gonna stop me out. Oh, that sucks over here. Here we go. It's coming right back down. There we go. We got stopped out. So first L of the day there. Yeah, you can't win them all. Let's see if this one wants to bounce off that 10 exponential. Otherwise, I'm not gonna try to catch a falling knife over here. So it's gonna have to drop at least or into the 10 exponential where it is right now, and then make higher highs and higher lows subsequent to that. So we'll take an L right now on PDYN, looking to do a little bit better, Joseph.
Big L. Remember him? The rapper Big L?
No, I know LL Cool J.
Oh, you never listened to Big L? Wow. No, okay, wow. He's sick. He's sick.
Who is that?
He was like a 90s rapper.
Is he?
2000? Yeah.
No,
Big
Adara
L.
probably knows.
Yeah, Big L. Where is Adara? She's not here right now.
She's at the big
okay.
No, you can.
Adara, are you familiar with Big L? Big L, the rapper. Big L, yeah, the rapper. No, okay, wow, okay, all right. So maybe listen to some Big L tracks later. Yeah, exactly. Okay, guys, yeah, so let's see what's going on here. Continue to let me know what you guys are looking at in the chat. Yeah, exactly, Max Weinski, big rest
I don't
in peace.
know,
Huge.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, what? Yeah, you don't know.
Yeah, how do you not know Big L?
Big
Harvey
L,
Hunter.
man.
Like,
Big L, R.I.P.
or
Big
Hunter
L,
Harvey,
man, he's
excuse me.
sick. Yeah, Big L is sick. Yeah, nice.
Oh,
Big L, exactly. There you go. Katina. Yeah, exactly. He was actually such a sick rapper. It was good, just that old flow of I don't forget. I'm not going to try to guess what kind of names he was hovering around because I can't think of it right now. But again, guys, let's. Big L's fine. Okay, yeah, chat's loving Big L. Yeah, all right. Well, anyways, okay, guys, let's see what's going on with IBIT here. Are we going to break the volume weighted average price and continue to the northeast? I would hope so. That'd be nice. So I'll take it at any time if we can sit on top of VWAP and then maybe hold those support levels from a daily perspective and then continue to the northeast. But yeah, GTI continuing to go impress. Possibly make some new highs of days here, Sharif. Are you still in? No, you're not in GTI.
No, I got it. Oh, there we go. Now we got the $1.10 break and take. Thank you for bringing that to my attention,
Okay,
bro.
so now you want to play the high day break here on that?
What is going on?
Okay,
yeah,
all right. So yeah, that volume is kind of kicking in there, guys. That momentum stepping in on GTI. Playing the high day break there, Sharif is going to, I think, momentarily.
I'm going to set up a dip trade, yeah.
He's going to set up a dip trade, so wait for that breath within the market. Try to grab that breath and then see if we can push higher on GTI, guys. All right, so PDYN still trading. Let's see what PDYN is up to. I know Sharif's in it and covering it. All right, so we're just below those highs of days, guys. Nothing too crazy, but let's take a look at what some of the potential stocks are on the afternoon rundown with SoundHound. Ooh, I like SoundHound here. Okay, let's pull up SoundHound. Oops, S-O-U-N. There we go. We got it. We'll get it together. S-O-U-N. Yeah, I'm going to look to get involved here, guys. A little bit extended from the volume weighted average price here, But let's see if we can kind of break out here on Soundhound, breaking some key resistance levels, now starting to push higher. A little bit of a chase on my front, but I'm going for the break of these key pivots and this other resistance zone that we had sitting here around that 2410 level. If we break that, then I think we can go and test those pre-market levels for sure.
Absolutely. Just give me a sec to put it in.
Yeah, do it. Yeah, for sure. So, guys, well, now I got to listen to some Big L tracks. And there's some, now, and there's this other rap group that I just can't, Mobb Deep. That's what I'm looking for. Yeah. All right, so there we go. Yeah, so it kind of, exactly. So, so Mobb Deep, those guys kind of, like that whole genre and that whole era of rap, I think is some of the best for sure. And you throw in the Wu-Tang Clan as well. Guys, we're gonna, I love that stuff. Money Storm, who's in? Oh, that's the Quiet Storm. Mobb Deep.
Hey.
Mobb Deep. Let's go, my guy. Bang.
Bro, so many good ones.
Bang. All right. So you got there? You got your beat set up there?
Everything's set up. I appreciate you, Joseph, for covering there. All right, so we're long GTI at 07s. It's printing 13s. I'm waiting at 14s, and then the high of the day is 15. So I'm trying to front run the high of the day. Looks like there is a seller of note here at 13, preventing this one from ascending any further. We'll see if this one ends up being trouble. My stop is below the dollar. Back to PDYN, I'm back in at 64s, wet my beak there on the break of 82s. It's kind of holding the 10 exponential. I'm trying to be more strategic with my stop placement, but we are still putting in lower lows and lower highs. Where we start curling up, if we start curling up, who knows? That's why I'm taking profits as this one pops up. Coming into my entry again, wow. Okay, so we'll see if this one wants to give me the entry there. I'm waiting at the $0.50. Pack in my patience. Back to GTI. No print at 14s. This one rejected 14, so we're going to have to pack our patience, see if we can get that one, but moving back above the $1.10 area. Nothing for me other to do here other than to wait for possible prints on all these ones. I'm talking about GTI. I'm talking about PDYN. Looking for the trend, though, on PDYN to stop bleeding lower lows and lower highs. So this one's gonna, we haven't got a trend change, quite frankly, and that's what concerns me right now, is that I'm catching a falling knife here on PDYN as it continues to hang out above the 10 exponential, but it's making lower lows and lower highs. So that's a bit of an issue. Let's see if this one wants to pop up. I'm waiting in front of 13 in the mid 90s. Let's see if we can catch a nice bid up into that area. Back to GTI as it moves right back into my area to profit take. The reason I'm in GTI here is because it took the high of the day. So it took the high of the day. Now I want to base my entry off that $1 area as a level of support. Back into 13s we go. Can we kind of get aggressive buying? Here, 14. There goes 14. Here's 15. Let's let this one go. I'm not taking out anything here. Let's let this one curl possibly into that $1.25. I'm not even going to take anything over here. I'm just going to let this one run because I'm not unsure exactly how far away we get from $1, but it's looking awfully good right now on GTI. Back to PDYN. We're still whiffling. We're still waffling at that break-even point for me in the mid-60s here. Again, nothing forthcoming in terms of higher highs, but at least the lower lows has stopped. The last two previous candles, that 110 candle and that 115 candle, equal lows. And now this current candle at 1220, for the moment, I don't want to jinx it, doesn't have a lower low than the previous two candles. So I'm going to pack my patience there. Keeping my eye also on LITM, as this one has been straddling that $1.66 area. It's been putting in lower highs with a flat bottom. I'm worried that this one might flat bottom break on me, but I do have a good price at $1.52. We're trading at 167, so at least I got a little bit of room over here, possibly with which to work. All right, back to PDYN, back into the 80s we go. We're in the money now, but we're still negative on it. Let's call a spade a spade. So I don't want to take anything out here, especially if we're going to get a squeeze into 13. Here we go into the high 80s, low 90s. Can we continue moving up? We still don't have any print above 13 for the last 15 minutes. So the last three candles have been unable to break 13, and we're still unable to break it right now as we whiffle and waffle south of 13. Joseph.
Hey, good stuff there, brother. Yeah, so I just punched out a Soundhound. We didn't get that continuation that I was quite looking for, but we're kind of turning around now. So let's see if I can set it up that we get slightly of a better price on Soundhound, which I kind of like it here. So I'll punch out, get back in. But we kind of are double topping-ish on this with the inability to break some of these key resistance zones. So I really have to monitor this. If we break below the 2360 level, then I got to get out of Dodge and reassess the situation and say, hey, maybe Soundhound isn't going to continue on the path that it's been. And I mean, I can't get too mad at that because look at the run that Soundhound has been on for the past couple months. And I mentioned this before, so this thing's probably up a couple 100% since this breakout level and that volume, started to step in there, guys, all right? So we just got to keep that in mind. And sure enough, yeah, we're starting to break down. That thesis is invalid as of right now, in my opinion, so I'm just going to step away. It's not going to work out how I was kind of anticipating it to. So again, we were forming these higher lows, with kind of this resistance zone, but lower highs as well too on that front too, guys. So just keep that in mind. We're just forming that little bit of a wedge here. So I'm going to need to see volume step in on this one, and then we can maybe pick a direction. So let's wait for that volume influx, see which direction this decides it wants to break, and then maybe we can participate after that fact. But again, someone asked us to take a look at BA, and we've been talking about BA a lot here, guys. From an intraday standpoint, not looking too pretty, but you want to zoom out a little bit here and look at it from a daily perspective. We're over 30% off of the lows there on BA. So yeah, about 33% off of those lows, but we're still negative on the year. But nice recovery off the lows there for BA. I do suspect that this will continue to the top side. But as of right now, nice run there, nice recovery. Expect somewhat of a pullback, but then maybe we can start continuing on that positive path that BA has been flying on. Sharif.
All right, keeping my eye out on the mag now because it's starting to curl. So we've got our positions in the small caps, so let them run. Let's see what happens with them. But we've got a bunch of these different names now at or approaching the volume weighted average price. So good look here for some of these mega cap names. Technically though, you haven't got much of a change in trend. The only one that I can kind of see possibly here changing trend and making higher highs and higher lows, well, Apple just took out this area crest at 254.75. It's on its way to 255 and then the volume weighted average price at 255.10 or so it seems. Amazon as well, even though it hasn't necessarily made that higher high, or has it? No, still, we need to get to 222.75. What it does have, though, is these higher lows. So a bit of an upward move here, not definitely parabolic by any stretch of the imagination, but definitely working its way back up above VWAP as well. So we'll see what the MAG wants to do over here and what these large caps are looking to do. You've got the likes of Google curling into the volume weighted average price. Likewise with Meta at, or a little bit above, I should say, the volume weighted average price. Likewise with Nvidia at or a little bit above, kind of trying to hold between that 136 and a quarter, 136 and a half. The future is still below VWAP. And likewise, Tesla looking very consolidative with really no ambitions to kind of move back up. But it does seem to have some buying for whatever reason, Tesla that is, at around 432 or sub or just below 431 there. So keeping my eye out on that. Yeah, that's the situation. Got stopped at a PDYN, so this one is going to be a loser on the day, and it will be red for me on PDYN. Still positive on the day, though. Looking to do a little bit better. If PDYN wants to set up a little bit differently, we'll get into it. But right now, I'm done buying falling knives. It's going to have to set up a little bit different for me to get in. Keeping an eye out on that one. So what else we got over here? On the small cap side of things, Rigetti kind of sideways in its movement at the moment, not really doing much. If I could say something, it's bouncing off a VWAP at times, trying to, break through that 17 3/4. That's been a bit of a tough level for Rigetti on the day. Did briefly get above that. That's where we took out the majority of the position into that 18. But as you can see, since about 11 o'clock, we've been kind of rejecting up that 17 3/4 with just one blip above that level. So packing my patience here, Joseph, not much for me to say or do other than just to kind of watch how these small caps play out, man.
Nice, man. Good luck there, brother. Jimmy, I seen what you said in the chat there. Sorry, I forget what calls you had, but I know you had a bunch of them and wanted to either just kind of get a sign on or exercise one and let the other ones ride. Just remind me of what you had those 10 calls on as well, too. I remember the exact number. I just forget the ticker on those, but hopefully that worked out, and please let me know in the chat if it did work out. Really interesting to see how that went for you. So hopefully things were positive on that front for you there, Jimmy Donnelly. All right, so guys, continue to let us know what you are looking at in the chat, folks. We have, excuse me, we have IBIT just hovering above the volume weighted average price. Let's see if we can slowly start to recover a little bit more. RGTI, 10 calls for January 31st. Yeah. Okay, nice. Yeah, okay, so hopefully that worked out really well for you. Let's see, let's pull up RGTI once again. Did we start to sell a little bit, or are we positive? Okay, so we're a little negative on the session, but again, we had that gap up, Jimmy. Oh, so Jimmy, you're sitting, okay, we're 11% up on the day. So congratulations to you, Jimmy. Really nice session, another 11% added to that. So again, you got about another 2 weeks until those expire. Look to see what you want to do with those. But RGTI adding another 11% on top of those gains, man, congratulations. We know who drinks are on, and so just let us know, and we'll get you to acquire what we like to prefer to drink, all right, my friends? So thank you very much for that, and thanks for letting me know. If we ever talk about anything, just keep me updated, because I'm curious to see how it either benefited you or how you need to assess it in a different situation, right? I mean, what we say is you got to take kind of with a grain of salt. It's not something that you need to, just because we say it, that you have to go and do it. You got to take your own gut feelings and your own thought process into consideration first and foremost, all right? So just keep that in mind. So I'm really glad that worked out for you, Jimmy. Definitely let me know. Yeah, we're only playing there, brother. But I'm glad that's working out, man. I love seeing that type of stuff. So congratulations once again, brother. So PDYN, still hovering, putting in this pullback. I like this pullback here, Sharif, kind of on lower volume with not the most orderly price action. So let's see if this thing decides that it wants to turn around and then maybe go and test this high day again. But we are slowly starting to pull back. But really nice, strong, orderly price action candles here. Strong momentum to the top side. So we like that on Paladine. Beautiful look. And you're still in it from 1250. Okay, all right, nice. I see you there, brother. Yeah, maybe we'll look to participate on that one as well, too, my friend. But let's take a look at NVDA, putting in a really weak session here as well, too. Starting to pull back, kind of giving back a little of these past couple day gains. Totally fine. Let's zoom in here and see what we got going on from a 5-minute standpoint. Okay, yeah, so now we're rejecting the volume weighted average price, putting in those lower highs, and then continuing to kind of trade in this triangle type wedge there. So NVDA, a little bit of a tougher look. Told you guys how I feel about this thing as of late, and it doesn't mean anything. Some people can be trading it better than me. Some people can't. And I'm just not. So okay, let's pull up IBIT here, folks. Let's see if we're going to break the volume weighted average price. I did take a short on it as we did break those key support levels, caught the bottom of it luckily, and then got stopped out break even for the rest of my position. But other than that, guys, I'm waiting for something to set up. Maybe we get involved in Tesla here shortly, but again, I'm just going to pack my patience and wait for that A+.
We're moving into 21.6 here, Joseph, on the future. So we're moving back up a little bit off that 21.5 bump and pop 21.650. That's where the volume weighted average price is hanging out. But we do have this area crest with which to contend. And it's also kind of at that 21.650 level. We're putting in higher highs and higher lows ever since 12:30. So an hour now of higher highs and higher lows, but they've been anemic relative to basically the down move. So you feel like we're definitely still going to be selling off on the day. We'll talk more about that when we get back from Adair at the big desk.
What we're going to do here is take a look at the U.S. dollar here in our afternoon version of our Money Talk segment. This is the monthly chart. What a double bottom here around that $100 level on the monthly chart. We got this push up here. It's going back to September 2022 into that 115 level we have not seen since. Then we push lower, and then over the next almost 2 years, we really just chop and churn. Then we get that breakout above that level. Honestly, this month, that would be that resistance around this 107.5 level going back to November 2023. Above that level now, looking to close for our third straight green month. What's also interesting here is Bloomberg's dollar gauge apparently set for its best performance in 9 years. So if you're wondering here, the Bloomberg dollar gauge, the BBDXY, I looked into this. It's basically a basket of 10 global currencies against the US dollar. So how these currencies are performing compared to the USD. Looks like this is actually the best year, as you can see here, since 2015. Red year in 2023, red year in 2019. So interesting look here, not just the DXY, but also the USD compared to a couple other global currencies, showing you some strength there. So we'll have to see if this continues, but it has been quite, as you can see, the month and year for the US dollar. Back to you.
So much for that, as always, Adara. Yeah, so guys, let's see what's going on here. We only got about 27 minutes left in the session. A little bit tired on the day, so again, a couple coffees try to get that energy going, but sometimes it just doesn't kick in. So that's all right. We'll keep it calm and cool for the remainder of the session. We're doing pretty good on our SPY poll, though. That's one thing that definitely matters. All right, so we're positive on that. Almost $1 in the money there, guys. So hopefully we can lock in a price range, something along those lines, in the next 27 minutes or so. But only time will tell, my folks. So just be prepared for a little bit of a pullback, or do we step in? Does volume step in, and then we decide that we want to break these key resistance levels and then head higher? That would be awfully interesting and something I most definitely would not complain about. That is for sure, folks. So, guys, look at IBIT slowly recovering here, just down about 1% on the session. We'll totally take that. Any form of recovery in this thing, I'm more than happy. The longer that we can hold these lows, the longer I can give myself to assess the situation that I'm in and see if I want to start locking in some profits, or do I start selling some covered calls against that position. So it's not really a tough decision, but I just want to be extremely accurate on my thesis and put myself in the best possible scenario and situation. All right, so strongest tech play, Apple, 593 bought calls there, 593.60. What do you mean? The Apple's not at 593.60. 290. Let's see what it is. Did you put a little bit of a typo there? AAPL. Did you mean 255? Okay, I don't know what 593.60 has to do with Apple there. Willis Addison, just let me know. But again, you know where I stand. And I was listening to Danny Ives. We were talking about this earlier. This guy has this thing in the next 12 to 18 months being a $5 trillion market capitalization company, especially with the super cycle, super upgrade cycle coming in on the iPhones. And especially, I mentioned this before, with more inflows coming into the market and with Apple being in so many different ETFs, this is what you're going to see in the stock price. So it is reflecting the stock price. And I remember it's the majority of the Gen Z or whatever the newest generation may be, is that these kids want iPhones, Sharif. They don't want Androids. They don't want anything else than that. They want to be a part of the iPhone ecosystem. And sure enough, you're seeing that reflect in this stock market, in this stock's price. That's for sure. Slightly pulling off of those all-time highs. But hey, I mean, we can't just go up all the time, brother, as I like to say. Yeah.
All right, guys, if you're ready to trade smarter not harder, then you need to upgrade to that elite trading experience by eSignal. You can analyze, you can strategize, and hopefully after that, you'll be able to capitalize by foreseeing those profitable opportunities with the platform you need. You get a bunch of stuff. You get infinite data. You get instant trading. You get to know where the market is moving before others with that lightning fast data and execution. And a lot of people compliment their charts. Some would say they got charts that change the game by allowing you to customize and analyze the markets faster and in your specific way. You also get better back testing and better scanning, which helps you predict the future by understanding the past. Reliable, real-time data up to the second market information from hundreds of global markets. It's everything you need all in one place, so don't miss a beat. Execute your best trades now. If you're ready to elevate your trading, scan that QR code to execute your best trades now. Link in the description or on the bottom right of your screen there. Shout out to the great folks at eSignal. All right, Joseph,
Yes, sir.
we've been fighting with this PDYN. We're not going to give this much more room. If it breaks 12, I'm gone. I've been trading this one really poorly, but that's the case. I've got the case of stubbornness today. So come what may from this one, if it breaks below 12, then that's done. And it looks like it's going to break right now. Oh boy. It's been give back and everything kind of day today with this PDYN trade. Yeah, sometimes it's like that. There we go. We get stopped out. Oh, I'm happy that this one's done.
It's
I'm
over.
taking it off.
Yeah,
I'm taking it off my side.
Sometimes getting the
I'm
weight
taking it off my side.
Yeah, see you later. Blacklisted.
It's a bit of a tougher one on that one. Let's see what else we're doing over here. LITM still holding that 166 area. Seems to be finding a buyer at about that 1 2/3 area. Not really sure why, but it's not really making any higher highs. So I'm starting to think maybe I should be taking out the majority of my position here in the midpoint at around 170. 171 or so. It's been putting in lower highs, but it's got that flat bottom at 166. So that kind of concerns me that we could get an aggressive flat bottom break in and around there. So we'll keep an eye out on that one. What else is moving over here? I don't really have much else to trade at the moment. I don't like the look of any of these small cap gappers, to be quite honest with you. Rigetti tried to test 18 again, a quick rejection off that level. RGTI not really breaking through it. Now we've been watching Rigetti reject off 17 3/4, and it does an 18 attempt, but look how quickly it's dropping right back down to that 17 3/4. It looks like it's going to fail that level, but it did get a predictable bounce off VWAP. So if you picked it up off there, good on you. I didn't have eyes on that trade. Willis Addison, $2 super chat, 253.60 entry. Apple calls January 3rd, 257.50 strike. Shout out to you, Willis. Hope you print up a storm. That's kind of, a very much I don't know, that feels like a range trade of sorts. You're not really looking at breaking above or below the kind of established highs here on AAPL. Let's have a look at Apple. What's it doing on the day? So we're back at that 255, really trying to take VWAP over here. Apple breaking into high or printing all-time highs yesterday through the break of 260. It was a very short-lived 260 pop. We didn't get above there the rest of the day. 259.5 was kind of the best we could do after that 260 break on Apple. And obviously today, a bit of a sell everything kind of day, especially in the mag. So a lot of weakness in the mag. They are trying to recover as we get on with the day, but we're well below the highs, well below the pre-market highs. We'll have to see if any of these market on close orders or any accumulation going into the afternoon helps boost some of these up. We'll have to keep an eye out on that. Let's see what else is moving over here in these markets. What's crypto up to? So Bitcoin below 95,000, about 94.5. ETH is up though 1% at 33.60. What else we got over here? Not much. Everything's in Redsville right now. Everything without exception. Tougher day definitely for the long-term account. No question about that, but these are healthy retracements. I think we definitely need these in the market, Joseph. So we'll pack our patience. Keep an eye out on that one.
So we tell ourselves, right, that it's healthy.
Hopefully.
Yeah, no, I think so. Things just take a little bit of time, and I think that's one thing about holding things in your long-term investment portfolio, Sharif, is that we're so fixated on kind of an intraday and kind of just these micro movements and just monitoring the market from a day-to-day basis, that it can kind of sway you from your long-term game plan. There's no doubt about that, especially because we look at everything from a lower time frame, from a 1 minute aspect, right? So those little price movements and those healthy pullbacks can definitely get into your head. There's no doubt about it, and have you kind of just re-guessing everything in your overall thesis. But sometimes I think when you just have the ability to put everything on the back burner and say, okay, you have your definitive plan, stick to it. If you get stopped out, you get stopped out, and just try not to micromanage those longer term positions, especially if they're working, right? Yeah, you may give up some unrealized gains, totally fine. Trust me, I'm in that ballpark. I've been in that game myself. just remember that if you have a long-term plan, things that are working will continue to usually work, folks. All right, so just keep that in mind, especially with the fundamentals supporting what these stocks are doing, especially in the likes of Apple, Tesla, Google, and NVDA. Again, it's just all kind of a short-term noise, in my opinion. But STI, man, are you watching this thing here?
STI?
Yeah, STI.
GTI or STI?
STI, my brother, man. This thing is absolutely roaring to the top side. Now putting in some new high days, up 78% on the session so far. 15.9 million shares traded since 6 a.m. Let's see if we continue to move. Kind of gapping up here. Is it going to halt? I don't think so right now. But again, we're pushing significantly higher here on STI. Folks, let's kind of zoom out here and see what we got going from a daily perspective. Wow, okay, interesting. Very, very, very interesting. With a gap up here, the volume hasn't printed just yet, maybe just a little bit laggard here on this platform here, but again, nice breakout here, gapping above those key resistance levels, and then putting in this massive engulfing day, which it kind of seems that it's done multiple times before. So let's see if this is genuine, but as of right now, continuing to push higher and higher on the session where the streets are kind of just full of blood red. Guys, let's take a look at the SPY before we send it off to Sharif real quick.
Sure.
We're looking for 593.90s. All right, Sharif, you mentioned that. We almost got there, so that's just going to give us all we need is a little push.
We could get it.
Yeah, we could get, all we need is a little, we got 10 minutes or so, Sharif, 12 minutes. All we need is a little push above the volume-weighted average price, and then that sell order will be triggered, and then we will hit that 2-to-1 profit target on SPY.
You know what I was talking about this morning? It was before you came.
Yeah.
I was talking about these American kind of car review influencers. I'm specifically talking about, if you guys know about this, Doug DeMauro on YouTube. There's also obviously Marquise Brownlee, MKHD. He has his own auto channel. Dude, a lot of them are reviewing these Chinese EVs. Obviously, they're being given the car by the manufacturer, but none of these cars are available for sale in the US. So you have to kind of wonder what the intentions of the companies are, especially because even if you did want to buy them, you know, you'd have to pay through the nose in terms of taxes, like if you want to import it from China. One thing that really caught my attention though, aside from that, and by the way, the reviewers are saying excellent things about these cars. Now you got to question some of the, they're being paid or not, but a lot of them have good reputations.
Or is like the China sending them the best version of that EV, and then like
they're not actually. They're not. They're giving them sometimes medium or like the mid-range.
The mid-range.
Yeah. So I'll give the Xiaomi, for example, the Xiaomi Su. There's three. There's a basic, middle, and then there's like a super one that has 1,200 horsepower. He gave him the middle one. So I'm talking about Doug DeMauro. And Doug DeMauro, usually you can't buy his opinion. I've been following him for like 4 or 5 years. You can't usually do that, but you never really know. Now, here's the thing. He said that Jim Farley, I think that's his name, the CEO of Ford, he drives around the Xiaomi SU. That's his daily driver. You want to know why? Why? Because he wants to know what the Chinese are doing, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? I mean, these American legacy companies are terrified of these Chinese EVs eating their cake. And we all see the US government obviously kind of really protecting legacy auto. Tesla doesn't need protecting. Let's call a spade a spade. Right? Tesla's already kind of established itself. What I find to be super interesting, though, is how the Chinese manufacturers are trying to work their way in to the U.S. market. Even if they can't sell their cars there, they're trying to get through them through the influencers. That's something that I didn't anticipate, which I find to be really interesting. And what's being said about them, like, I don't know, man. You guys, what do you guys think about Marquise Brownlee? You guys think that, he doesn't speak well about Apple sometimes. He talked crap about Apple intelligence. You think, Apple would be able to sway him with all their money. So, it feels like that there might be actually some substance to that whole thing. And then you have Elon coming in and saying he thinks the car companies, he said this a while ago, is going to be Tesla and then like 3 or 4 other Chinese companies below it. You know what I mean? He doesn't think legacy auto in the States is going to have a shot, not the way they're going, right?
No, that's interesting, and I guess it's I know this guy, right? Yeah.
Big spy, I love that. China, very good country. Excellent leader, great food. I had to say it with that accent, Neil. I had to. But yeah, no, your point well taken, Big Spile. I mean, yeah, a lot of people want to say, oh, you know, Chinese quality goods are not that good. Well, maybe you had an experience or two off Amazon or Temu or Shein or wherever you buy your stuff. But that's not the EV game is like though in China. That's the thing though. I find that to be super interesting because if they can't infiltrate in the American market, you best believe they're going to try to weasel their way in some way, somehow, whether through the Mexican or the South American market, to kind of try to get into the Western Hemisphere some way, somehow. Yeah. Which I find to be super interesting. It's just which one do you want to put your money behind?
I mean,
is it BYD?
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, it's so much easier to reach the consumer now as well, too, with just social media and all these platforms and advertising now. So I guess if they want to get it done, it's just going to cost them a pretty penny. And then, sure enough, they'll have the ability to do so.
Call me Poppy. From someone in the industry, Chinese EVs are 2 to 3 years ahead of the curve, including Tesla. Whew, statement made. Call me Poppy. Okay. Well, okay, I didn't think ahead of Tesla, but yeah.
I mean, it's not too hard. Tesla doesn't have a vehicle on there, like other than they obviously have electric vehicles, but opposed to the autonomy, they don't even have a vehicle on the ground yet, and Waymo is kind of leagues ahead of them on that front, especially in my opinion, right? Because we're pricing in what Tesla can potentially do with a robo-taxi or robocab, whatever you would like to call it.
Right.
But again, Waymo's already been doing it for a while.
It has. Shout out to Glenn Smith as well, Joseph. Legacy Auto was put on notice 15 years ago by Tesla. They have no excuses to be laggards. I gotta agree. I think some of their issues are, you can't help. Like, they're gonna have to deal with the environmental standards. They're gonna have to deal with the unions. These are all things that the Chinese don't have to deal with. We all know about that. Like, I mean, you don't need to be a great analyst to know how the Chinese do things over there. Shout out to Carlton. He fair. I'm assuming you're talking about Marquise Brownlee or Doug DeMauro. Let me know what you guys think. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Sharif, give us a Trump speech, please. I don't know what that means, bro. Kyle Burdett.
Someone said that.
Lot harder to smuggle EVs via avocados instead of fentanyl. Yeah, that's funny, but I'm actually looking for real takes here. Let's see what else people are saying. Let me just read some of these comments. Tax cut. Okay, no. Shout out to Willis Addison, another $2 super chat. Fastest EV belonged to NIO. Their tech is better. Interesting, yeah? Well, NIO's got that replaceable battery technology. We kind of know about that. Jesse Argon, take a peek at TRAW. Let me know. Sure. Let's have a look at TRAW for you, brother. What do we got over here? TRAW. Let me know if you see any good comments there, because I'm not.
Yeah, for sure.
TRAW up nice, 18 1/3%. Trows Pharma. It's really light on volume, though, brother. It's done about 445,000 shares on the day. It's above VWAP. Nothing that I would trade personally on an intraday basis. Let's see what the daily chart looks like. Definitely caught a bit of a move on the 23rd, and it really hasn't given up much of the gains here. It's above that $10 area, above the 200 exponential moving average. This day probably a bit of an outsized day, going to 19.5. We're still well below that level. Hey, look, if we close out at this area, we definitely close closer to the highs than we do the lows. I don't personally know anything about the company, but from a technical sense, obviously, it's a bit of a tougher look, having made incrementally lower lows and lower highs, but it's catching a bit of a bid now. Let me know how it goes, but not a bad breakout, assuming it stays in this kind of fashion and is sustained to the high side. Keep an eye out on that.
Someone said Marquise Brownlee destroyed Fisker.
He did.
Yeah.
He did.
Did he?
And you want to know the whole story behind that?
Yeah, absolutely.
How much time we got? We got a decent amount of time. So he wanted to review the Ocean, right? He reached out to Fisker directly. He said, give me the car, I want to review it, like he does with every other.
I remember you telling me this.
Right?
Yeah.
And then they whiffled, they waffled. They didn't want to give him the car, Joseph, because they had an update coming. They wanted to give him the car with the update, right? So then he's like, no, I'm not going to wait for you to give me the car on your timetable. I want to review the car now and give a genuine opinion about it. So he went to a car dealer, this George Saliba guy, this Lebanese guy who sells high-end cars in Jersey or New York, wherever the hell, on the east side. So he had a Fisker. So Marquise reached out to him. George gave it to him. Marquise reviewed it. It was hot trash.
Yeah, it was hot
garbage. Hot trash.
Wow.
And then he dropped the review. And then they found out that he was getting the car from George. Fisker, that is.
Yeah.
Fisker calls George, telling him, don't give him the car. He's like, first of all, it's my car.
I can do whatever
and
I
I'll
want.
do whatever I want. And he's already reviewed it. It's going to be posted.
Too late.
They posted it, got killed. Now, he gave him a shot. He's like, all right, fine. Look, I'll do another review after you guys update to that version 2.0 or whatever it was. He did, and it was still hot trash.
Oh, really?
It was a little bit better.
So at that
but
point, with someone reviewing your stuff and then giving it like a poor rating, can you sue for defamation?
No, because like you can't. Well, unless you're saying something that's markedly untrue. And in the States, I think that there is they have another qualifier for defamation, which is like there has to be malice. And so
okay.
Which is super interesting. Guys, QSI is going. I see it. It's breaking through $4. QSI is rocketing up over here through that 415. Good look, guys. There's only like 7 minutes left on the show, so I'm not going to jump into that trade, but wow, it's been a hell of a day, guys. Shout out to Big Spile Burdette. Great job to you as well. We'll see you Monday. If we don't see a Big Spile, shout out to you. Want to wish you, obviously, a Happy New Year and a Merry Christmas. We love you, brother. Hope you're doing very well. Shout out to the spiled one, Joseph.
Yeah, I popped into some Tesla here, guys. Kind of just trying to play this continuation in this trend here. Sorry, let me pull it up here, folks. Boom, there we go. We're starting to work here now. We are kind of trading in this consolidation range, totally fine. If we head back into this range, then we're just going to hop out of that trade. There is no questioning that whatsoever. But it's still here. I am in some. Okay, let me get out of this. Oh, yeah. Let's see what I was playing here on. IBIT. Yeah, let me punch out of there. We're out of this IBIT here. So yeah, guys, let's focus on this TSLA trade. Breaking through some key resistance levels here. Let's see if we can sustain this. We put in this nice push here, trading up to 32.10s. Let's see if we can go back to that level, just a little north of that. Then we'll look to take a little bit off the top on TSLA. Let me put a little order here because I know we don't have too much time left. So if we catch that fill, that would be fantastic. And there we go. All right, so we got that order out. Let's see if we can push within the last couple minutes here. Okay, 7 cents until our SPY trade may be complete as well too. If these mega cap, Nvidia breaking out here as well too, Sharif. Okay, wow.
Okay, here we go.
Starting to catch a little bit of some flame here on the market here, folks. Yep. Okay, we just hit out of our SPY trade as well too. 2-to-1 hit on that one. 593.90 was our price target. We're trading at that right now, so fantastic. 5 minutes left to go. Right at 155. What a coincidence.
Not
Usually
bad.
when we hop right out of that trade, so that's a 2-to-1 there. Before we log off, we're going to touch back and we'll display that equity curve once again. But guys, look what NVDA is doing, dragging up the rest of the market with it, going to test some of these key resistance levels, my guy.
Hey, yes, man. Let's have a look at the MAG because the MAG are moving and something's afoot with this market. Shout out to Adam DeLuce. Thank you as well, brother. Hope you have a fantastic weekend. Yes, Joseph, there is definitely something afoot. Meta taking out highs. Well, not the high, but local highs. Get it, Adara. 595.5, that local area high there at 11:30. We took it out. We're on our way to 596 right now. Amazon doing the same thing. It took out that VWAP and that 222.75. It's on its way to 223.25. The dead one, Apple, moving up here to 255.5. It just took VWAP as well. Microsoft above VWAP. Google above VWAP. Fuge, we're on our way to 21.7 possibly. Even NVIDIA, well, not even. NVIDIA kind of was the move here. It still, though, Joseph, hasn't taken out those highs that we put in at 137. That 137 pop at 11:30. We're still a little bit below that, but what's operative here is these higher lows. Could we really retrace and at least, wipe off some of the red that we put in today? No question, there's been a lot of blood on the streets, whether it's the NQ down 1.5, NVIDIA down 2 1/3. So a lot of blood looking to kind of parse some of that back. We'll have to wait and see how strong this possible move is, if any, right now on the future. Keeping an eye on these small cap gappers as well. Looks like GTI still defending that bucket, printed a new high of the day at 125. Likewise with QSI taking out $4, HOD 414. What else we hear? Rigetti straddling VWAP. We have INTZ or Z. Shout out to my American friends doing absolutely nothing below this the volume weighted average price. Yeah, that's basically about it. Holo off that 240 double top. Looks like there was a whole bunch of selling there at 240 on HOLO, coming back down now into about 2 1/5. We'll keep an eye out on that one. So good strength right now in the Mag 7 names, and by extension of that, some of the indices, both indices actually, the ES and the NQ well off the lows. The Dow now only down 0.98. The Russ taking it on the chin, the worst of the 4 indices, 1.8 in negative lane, Joseph.
Yeah, good look there, guys. I tried documenting this. I don't know why it kind of pulled up like that, which is kind of unfortunate. So we've got a little bit of a logging error here that we might have to iron out, but that's totally fine. You can see the cumulative P&L right now on that front. So a big 2-to-1 hit there, our second ever. So congratulations, good stuff there with the W. 3-day winning streak on the SPY. So nice look there. And man, we just the longs just edged out a W on that one. Closest pull yet. Otherwise, we would have got stopped out on the short side, guys. So let me figure out what's going on here. We should have this kind of base up there. If anybody can recognize what I am missing out on here and why it kind of printed like that, then feel free to let me know, and then we'll be able to change that up real quick there, folks. But I am in some, okay, I'm still in IBIT. I didn't want to be in IBIT. I thought I was in TSLL. Let me see what we got going on here for the people. Okay.
Can we get the Playmaker poll levels too when you have a sec?
The levels?
Yeah, the levels that we were doing on the Playmaker poll. So our entry, what was our entry again?
Our entry was 591.90.
591.90. So our profit taker would have been 593.90.
90, exactly.
And 590.90.
Yeah, exactly.
You got that, Neil? Yeah. Awesome.
Okay.
All right.
All right. So yeah, Okay.
Sorry to interrupt you.
No, that's it. Those are the levels. Those were the entry metrics and our price target metrics. So I don't know why that's showing up like that. We'll get that sorted out here real quick. I just might have to mess around a little bit on that front, but there you go. We'll get back to this because I think this looks a little bit prettier. There's no questioning that, folks. But yeah, again, let's continue to see what we got going on here. TSLL starting to climb a little bit higher here. NVDA starting to pull back a little bit as well too, folks. Let's see if we can continue this ascent here and break through some of these key resistance levels and see if the market in the last couple hours decides that it wants to rally and recover some of the losses it put in earlier in the session.
All right, guys. It is 1:59. I hope you guys had a fantastic week. Obviously, a shortened week with Christmas in the middle and the half day, or the shortened day, I should say, on Boxing Day. It is now 2 o'clock. It is now time to send you to the big boy kahunas who are on the right of us. Joseph and I, though, we'll see you same bat time, same bat channel on Monday. I hope everybody has a fantastic weekend.
Thank you very much, everybody. Great look. I love that Playmaker trade. I was curious. I was asking Sharif, like, where's the entry, where's the exit? Because I wanted to have a look at that bad boy on the chart, because